Ginger Rogers coming up next with Hagedorn. Then the Mad Dog. Then the Hammer's back. Randy McMichael will join him. Panther preview tonight, the game tonight. Eddie K taking book on whether or not Joe and Mark show up. From 2 to 6, the Dirty Boys. Have a nice day in paradise, everybody, on QAM. With the sewer of this place.
He plays a cat-and-mouse game with the police.
Sniper man, unfriendly neighborhood sniper man. When we catch him, he will fall. Hang him up by the hair of his balls. On the lookout for that sniper man. Sniper man, gonna get ya, sniper man. On your ass, Charlie Moose, you'll have your testicles in a noose. Look out, where is the sniper man?
Chief Moose, to the person who left us a message, you gave us a telephone number. We do want to talk to you. Call us at the number you provided.
Public dialogue continued.
The person you called could not hear everything that you said. Call us back so that we can clearly understand. We want to get it right.
Is he sneaky? Listen, bud. He's only out for the spill of blood. When the case is finally cracked, we'll put a vice on his scrotal sack. Look out. Where is the sniper man now? Look everywhere we can now. Where is the sniper man?
9:02 at 560 WQAM. Happy Tuesday to you. Well, I tell you, I got a little bit of what we did have. Don't speak too fast. A little bit of blue sky, a little bit of sunshine, and now it's kind of like clouded over again. But going to be a heat wave, 43 today and tomorrow. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
I likes it. I like it myself. You feel invigorated. I don't want to keep rubbing that in. Anyway, we had a zillion phony votes on the poll, mostly this morning. Boy, I'll tell you. See, it's easy to see why the Bushmeisters can win all these elections with phony votes because they all pour them in there right at the end when it counts the most. And didn't I? Look at that total, baby. Oh, you people have got a great sense of humor, I'll tell you that. 1,394 votes. Remember I kept saying to you we might actually reach 1,100?
Yeah.
And then we're sitting talking, and I said, we might actually reach 1,200 with all these phony Bush votes pouring in here, and we got to almost 1,400. In fact, if we wait a couple of minutes, we can get to an even 1,400.
It's almost 200 in like an hour.
And they were all for Bush. Not that they're phony, you understand, or that they're hysterical, because this is such an important poll. If the 2004 presidential election pits President Bush against Al Gore, I'd vote for Bush, 616. Now keep in mind, when I sat down here this morning at 6:55, Bush was 8 votes ahead of Gore, and it kind of, like last night, flip-flopped back and forth. He was 8 ahead. Now he winds up 164 and 18 is 180 votes ahead. Bush, 616. Gore, 436. I blow my brains out, 166. I wouldn't vote at all, 96, and I'd leave the country, 80. Out of nearly 1,400 votes, a few of which were actually for real. By the way, my best thanks to my good close personal friends Dick Feinberg and Steve Wolf at Pompano Park, who sent me something really nifty. I'm not going to tip on the air what it was, but something really nifty to wear when I come back to town, so that I can impress everyone who's not too pleased with my apparel, with my personal appearance,
with your gear,
with my gear. Yeah, don't bring him into it.
Rectum.
So at any rate, thanks, Dick and Steve. It'll be worn. It'll be, and guess who died? What do you already know?
Yeah.
What a shame. He was a good actor, although we haven't seen him in a long time.
Right.
In a coon's age. James Coburn, dead at 74. Now, did you see what happened?
He had a heart attack.
Yeah, he was sitting at home listening to music with his wife in Beverly Hills, California, had a massive heart attack and croaked.
Fell right over.
He was 74. He was a great actor.
Yes, he was.
Mr. Coburn won his Best Supporting Acting Oscar for the 1998 film Affliction. Never saw that, did you?
Me either, no.
After overcoming a 10-year struggle with arthritis that left one hand crippled. Born in Laurel, Nebraska, August 31, 1928, he studied acting in Los Angeles and with Stella Adler in New York. He appeared on stage in New York and in such dramatic TV series as Studio One and GE Theater in 1950s. Oh, those were great long before you guys were born. Great live drama, something unheard of today.
Yeah, what's that?
See, in this business about, well, you old farts, you live in the past, well, part of that is true, but the fact is early TV, because it was all live, or most of it was live, and it was great. We used to have these live dramatic presentations, like we just got through saying, Playhouse 90, that was another one, et cetera, and so on. At any rate, they played the sidekicks and villains and cowboys and this one and that one, and he cashed in on the James Bond mania with humorous spy spoofs, Our Man Flint and In Like Flint. Such films as The President's Analyst, which he also produced, the Second World War Escape, Epic, The Great Escape, and Golden Girl, etc., and so on. In the 1980s, he all but disappeared from the screen with the onset of arthritis. He said he had healed himself with pills that had a sulfur base. His knuckles remained gnarled, but he said in the 1999 interview the pain was gone. They remained gnarled. So James Coburn is dead, and it just goes to show you, okay, he's sitting there listening to music in his home with his wife. He didn't have, like, any extraordinary thing going on, and massive heart attack, and, like, he's dead. So enjoy it while you can, folks, because one of these days, you're going to be dead. Take it to the bank. There's Richard Butler on here. He makes me sick. He makes me want to croak. Oh, and I never faxed you the poll today, did I?
Nope.
Well, it's not that hard. I'm sure Eric can handle it. Before we get into all of these things. And we got a crap load of stuff today. Speaking of crap, by the way, I think, we would take a poll on the worst chronic caller of all time, but it's not necessary. It'd be a waste of time. Because Dennis, who is obviously listening right now and squeezing himself to hear his name on the air, you are the all-time chronic. Not just on this show, on every show, on every station. Didn't you tell me you heard him on NPR one day?
Yes.
I mean, get a life, baby. Squeeze those rosary beads. Do something.
That he was Dennis, you're getting into the rambling mode now. We need you to get to, we need you to cut this off.
Let me make two last points.
Very quickly.
One time a guy was going to make an invocation. He was told, don't use the name of Jesus Christ in the invocation. But at that time, the man who was telling him that, his papers blew away. And he said, oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
So you can use the name Jesus Christ
Jesus
as
Christ.
blasphemy, as it's done all day on WQAM. You just can't use it in a prayer.
Jesus Christ.
And the last point is, when we start pointing out about
Here we
who's
go,
the biggest and
Crank it up.
anti-Semite and everything, we don't have to look any further than Neil Rogers on WQAM. Okay?
Yeah, but if you talk to Neil, Neil will tell you that it's part of his shtick.
Yeah, but you know something? A shtick, one-man shtick...
I didn't say I agreed with it. I'm just saying that that's the answer you'll get.
I know you don't agree with it, Howard, and I respect you for that. And the day you start agreeing with Neil Rogers, I would listen to your show.
Right.
But everybody has their own shtick. And my point is at WQAM, where
Chronic
Neil
Dennis,
Rogers
you
calls
idiot,
blacks,
shut up.
niggers, women, bitches, and everything else.
You forgot Coons.
It's interesting that we talk about in our own backyard, which is WQAM's Neil Rogers. But thanks for taking the call.
Hey, Dennis, I appreciate the novel.
Yeah, the novel is right. And that wasn't a very novel experience. So there's our good friend Dennis. He ought to have a regular feature on this station every day. You know what? The professional Catholic militant anti-Neil Rogers homophobic hour. Give him like an hour every day. He can pay us. He can buy the time. And you know something? I bet he would do it.
Yeah.
A man who needs serious assistance. I notice Mo has kind of mellowed out a little bit lately. The audience probably don't like that too much, you know? Because the South Florida audience, they like hate. They like that. They love it. They feed on it. Now, there was an incredible experience I had yesterday channel surfing. In fact, some of your most enjoyable experiences come channel surfing. Have you ever noticed that?
Sure, of course.
When you flop upon something by accident. Nothing wrong with sometimes flopping on something by accident. And I was in the middle of guiding light, no less, which I don't mess with. Right now, it's so heavy duty. And I flip over during a commercial break to CNN and that awful Talkback Live show just to see if the world is still spinning around and we're all still going to be alive by the end of the day. And they're carrying on about how Fox News is all slanted to the far right and about Roger Ailes and yada, yada, yada. And I got the great story on this from today's New York Daily News. And same things that I've been saying all along. So we'll talk about that briefly, and that inspired my poll today. Also, speaking of things I've talked about for years, and I don't practice what I preach, unfortunately. I'm good at talking like losing weight, but I'm not so good at doing it. Study finds Atkins diet may have surprising benefit on cholesterol, and everybody and their brother now, including that Dr. Gupta on CNN this morning, they're touting the Atkins diet. How do you like that? And telling you the same. Didn't I say years ago that it brought my cholesterol and triglycerides way down?
Gupta.
That's what I just said.
I know, I like saying that.
Gupta, Dr. Gupta.
Gupta.
Yeah. He didn't say gook. Don't start with that stuff again, okay? Because then Mo will say,
Jesus Christ.
It's okay if he says it. It's okay if he says it, Dennis. Because then it's not blasphemed. At any rate, here's our poll question today. Which TV network slants the news the most? And I listed them here in alphabetical order, Eric, so it ought to be very easy for you. Which TV network slants the news the most? Ready?
Ready.
ABC, CBS, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, NBC, none of them or all of them. What a magnificent poll again as we touch all of the bases, you know? Even Barry Bonds never touched all the bases the way we do on this show. Which TV network slants the news the most? ABC, CBS, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, NBC, none of them or all of them. Got a heavy plate today, got a lot of stuff. Of course, we might have to take a couple of calls just to pacify the call-loving crowd. Might have to take a few of those today.
Maybe
or
Dennis
not.
will call.
Huh?
Maybe Dennis will call.
Well, you'll see how long that call will last. Do not call us again, Dennis, okay? Call all the other shows, see how long you're going to be on the air. Evidently, Mo likes the Chronics. It kills some good time. He's catching on. But don't waste your efforts calling here again. Because the calls, and it was my fault. Was it yesterday? What day was it that he called with that crap about, how come you're afraid to talk to people who disagree? It always either starts out with that, or can we talk about anything today? Which, of course, translates. In fact, the very first day I started taking calls again, that must have been the day that he was foaming at the mouth. Can you imagine the excitement? He probably had both hands in his...
Rectum.
Huh? You would think so. Oh, yeah. He was squeezing himself. He was so excited. Can we talk about anything? Oh, sure. Well, what is it going to be? Catholic Church or homophobia or both? Which one is it going to be, Dennis? Get some help, okay? Like I've been telling this audience for years, there are no callers. There are a smattering of real callers, and generally speaking, the base of it is about the same 50 to 100 misfits, no lives, people with no life at all, who wait for not only a few minutes, but for hours and hours on hold just for their few minutes of fame or seconds of fame on the air. And that clip I played this morning, that was only a very small part, which is why Mo was getting agitated. That was like a novel on the air, like, get to the point, get with it, okay, you idiot. 12 minutes after 9 at 560 WQM. Looking at Eric, wasted no time, boy. Look at that. On my page, he's already got that up there. He is on top of it, baby. He loves having all those, all those zillion hits on a website. What does he make, about 1/100 of a cent for each one?
1,000.
I think he's got to share it with Carlos now, because Carlos is threatening to take over the website. That's the rumor I'm hearing. 12 minutes after 9 at 560. Well, he needs something to augment that meager paycheck he gets from QM once every couple of months. Check out Dry Concepts' website, www.dryconcepts.com, and you'll see exactly what it is that they do for you. I've been explaining it to you for over 20 years on this show. In fact, they're one of our longest-standing sponsors on this program. Why? Because I've been using them in my home for that long. They do a spectacular, unbeatable job of cleaning not only your carpets, but your drapery and your furniture, your oriental rugs. They do water damage restoration. If you got pet odors, like I have in my house, thanks to that little dog, they do a super job of making them go away. And when I tell you they dry clean your carpets, what it really boils down to is they make them look just like brand new. When they get done, your carpets are dry in a couple of hours. They smell lemony fresh, and it looks just like you had brand new laid on the floor and carpeting too. And with the holidays coming and all those guests coming into town, you're going to want to have everything looking in tip-top shape. So do the smart thing, and don't forget they give you a written guaranteed price before they start the job for you. So there's no rip-offs, no sad story at the end of the game. Pick up that thing and call them toll-free from anywhere, 1-800-248-5071. And if you never used them before, I guarantee you'll be shocked at the stupendous job they do for you at a guaranteed fair price every time. 1-800-248-5071. Clean today, entertain tonight. Not just an advertising slogan, it really is their business at Dry Concepts.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
I killed Nicole. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Oi! There is a girl in extra wide jeans. A girl whose head weighs a ton. And she's living with the women and the funny play toys in the house of the lesbians. When she was young at a restaurant with a boy, he didn't know that she was gay. Until he noticed each time they went out, she went for the seafood buffet. Just look at all Rosie's Dyke sisters now. Just look what they have done. The minute she comes home from work through that door, well, off her panties come. She laid it down to stop publishing the Rosie Mag. left a laid-off staff not paid. And Rosie's girlfriend, who's pregnant right now, I guess she just only got laid. There is a girl with extra wide jeans, entertainer she's become, and she goes by the name of Rosie O.D. in the house of the lesbians.
Don't be picking on them dykes, because Dennis will get upset again. Won't he?
No, not about them.
Oh, that's right. That's okay. 9:20 at 560 WQM. Now, again, let's set the tone here and see if we're going to be taking many calls today. I doubt it anyway, because I got a full plate. I got a heavy agenda.
Tabloid
Here's
Tuesday.
Boynton Beach. Hello.
Good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, buddy?
Great.
Hey, listen, real quick. I'm an internet listener. Listen always on the internet because I live in
Right.
Palm Beach and get bad reception. I don't know if you know this, but on the internet, when you guys break for local commercials, we don't get that transmission over the internet because everyone's listening.
Right.
But they fill the time with Hank shows, which is not a problem, but they're so old. I mean, you're listening to stuff that happened weeks ago.
I thought we filled that time with music.
No. No, it's filled with Hank, and he's talking to Bino. He's talking to players.
Bino?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
God.
you got to listen to it, and it's over and over the same. So I was just wondering why for your show they don't put like one of your best local stuff, and we get to listen to it on the internet.
Well, why can't we fill that with music?
You guys don't fill it with music. You
Now,
guys
let me
fill
ask
it
you,
with
George, is that on our end or is that Eric doing that?
I have no idea.
Oh.
Must be on our end.
Well, that's informative because we don't know because we certainly don't listen to our own show on the internet.
Last time I checked, that was on our end here at the station.
And it's on our end?
That's what I think. We can verify
I see.
that.
Well, let's butch them up a little bit, okay? It's probably that Bob
Oh,
removed.
yeah.
If he'd spend less time bellyaching about screw-in and more time worrying about butching up everything that we're trying to do, make it a little bit more professional and enjoyable for the audience. That's what it's supposed to be, you see, is free entertainment. That's what it is. And getting back to that Dennis comment, since he's jumping on the bandwagon along with Fox and all the other right-wing assholes, which, he is an asshole, regardless of which wing we're talking about in his case. But the fact of the matter is, this is not a show, and Heather, I'm sure you're not listening because you already done your deed, But if she would have been listening, like I tried to tell her, this is not a show you can come into town or go on the internet and listen to for 1 or 2 days and get the flavor of the show. How many times over the years have people called in and said, "Oh, when I first heard you, I thought you were a real bigot. I thought you were a real asshole. And then after listening for a while, I caught on to it." Even Mo is catching on now, which, like I said, the audience isn't too happy about that because they want World War IV. But the fact of the matter is, you got to listen for a while, and then all of a sudden you say, "Hey, guess what? That is a shtick. That is what the show is." And the fact that the show's been on the market almost 27 years now, and people aren't like tearing a goddamn building down, they understand it, they get it. Whether it's black people, whether it's gay people, whether it's Jews, whether it's spics, whatever the hell it is, they get it. That's the way the show is, okay? It's mostly a comedy show. Like I keep telling you, we're not going to solve the problems of the world on some stupid-ass radio show. There's nothing to me more ponderous than some pompous jackass that gets on radio and thinks they're going to change the world. Unless, of course, they're on 7,000 stations like Fat-Ass Limbaugh or somebody like that who can do a lot of damage, and he already has. You follow what I'm saying?
What are you saying?
I don't know. But it sure killed some good time. No, it's just my response to those people who want to, this tremendous effort to say, well, and he's talking to a guy that's constantly saying the same damn thing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so how come he can say it and it's okay, but if I say it, it's like, oh, it's sacrilegious, over and over again, Take the Lord's name in vain, my ass, okay?
Oh, God.
Right. See what I'm saying? Which TV network slants the news the most? Our poll is up. We have 84 votes already in a heartbeat. Fox, 26. Those Nazis at Fox, those fascists at Fox. You're not kidding anybody. I got that Roger Ailes story in a second here. You're not fooling anybody anymore. And I never thought I would say it to the Certainly Not News Network over there at CNN, but my kudos to them for finally butching up a little bit and striking back yesterday. Attacking the so-called, what's that slogan they use?
Who?
Balanced, fair and balanced.
Oh.
Like I tell you, it should be unfair and unbalanced, all spin all day, because that's what it's all about. It comes right from the goddamn Bush White House. Anyway, which TV network slants the news the most? Fox 26, CBS 19, CNN 16, which I don't see that at all. I don't understand that. See, to me, CNN is like vanilla pudding. It's not liberal, it's not conservative, it's not anything. It's bland. Do you find a bias on CNN?
No.
Other than being anti-Semitic, which you probably enjoy.
They're not anti-Semitic, they're apologists.
All of them 14. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Well, here it goes, changing again. Right in the midstream, I don't have time for this. Fox 33, CBS 26, all of them 21, CNN 20, ABC 6, MSNBC 2, NBC 2, and none of them 0. 0. Nobody says none of them. Here's a cute facts. As for yesterday's poll, most of my votes I'd blow my brains out were from Palm Beach, a strong haven for Gore. Apparently, when the mouse pointed to what they thought was Gore, they had inadvertently voted for I'd blow my brains out. I smell Catherine Harris. That's cute. I like it.
I think we can all smell her.
Yeah. About 10 miles away, that bitch. Oh, that's right. Congresswoman Catherine Harris, or whatever the hell she is. Roger Ailes, a key media advisor to Republican presidential candidates before he became the hard-charging head of Fox News in 1996, denied yesterday that he'd crossed the line and offered political advice to President Bush after 9/11. Ailes wouldn't release a copy of a memo he sent to White House political strategist Karl Rove, but insisted his message was incorrectly described by journalist Bob Woodward in his new book, Bush at War. According to Woodward, Ailes' note, which Rove took to Bush, had to be confidential because the Fox News head was not supposed to be giving political advice. His back-channel message, the American public would tolerate waiting and would be patient, but only as long as they were convinced that Bush was using the harshest measures possible in response to the terror attacks, Woodward writes. Ailes tried to shoot down the implication that he had advised the president just as he counseled Bush's father in his 88-92 runs for the White House. In the days following 9/11, our country came together in nonpartisan support for the president, Ailes said in a statement. During that time, I wrote a personal note to a White House staff member as a concerned American citizen, expressing my outrage over the attacks on our country. I did not give up my American citizenship to take this job. If the report is accurate, he crossed the line. His first responsibility is to his audience, not to his president, said Andrew Tyndall, whose Tyndall report tracks TV news coverage. Woodward appeared to soften the impact of his report, saying through his publisher that Ailes called him and there's no dispute between them. It's a non-issue at this point, added the very mealy-mouthed Woodward, who stuck by his reporting. Unlike many TV news personalities who once worked in politics, Ailes, 62, at times straddled the two worlds. The media guru on Richard Nixon's victorious presidential campaign in 68, he later advised GOP candidates for the House and Senate while serving as executive producer of Tomorrow, NBC's late-night interview show with Tom Snyder. In 1992, while preparing a TV show featuring Rush Limbaugh, Ailes claimed he was out of politics and said his contract with the program barred him from political counseling. However, he privately urged Bush's re-election campaign to get tough and help the president prepare his acceptance speech at the Republican convention. Except for MSNBC editor-in-chief Jerry Nachman, the heads of competing networks declined to comment yesterday. Expressing outrage over 9/11 is a very different story of truth than suggesting Ailes was offering advice on policy or tactics, said Nachman, who's also the host of a show on MSNBC. Another broadcast exec speculated that if CNN chairman Walter Isaacson or ABC News president David Weston sent such a memo, people would be clamoring for their resignation. How do you like that in today's New York Daily News? So, Roger Ailes, you're out of the closet, baby. You're not fooling too many. Except those right-wing sycophants who are just sucking up what you're giving them anyway. 9:27 at 560 WQAM. Tom Lehman and Hallett Pontiac GMC, they're at it again, baby. They're proud to announce the great Neil Rogers Neil Deal, 0% to sale. You got that? See, this is that piece of copy again where Tom tries to see how many times he can get my name into the copy.
Oh, God.
I think it's 600. That's right, you heard right. With approved credit from GMAC, you can get 0 down payment and 0% financing on all 2002 and 2003 Pontiac and GMC models, plus 0 payments for 90 days. Or you can take a rebate of up to $5,000. And as always at Hallett, 0 hassles. Don't forget to mention you heard about the Neil Deal and save even more when you go down to Hallett. Check out the complete line of GMC SUVs while you're there, including the Envoy, voted by Motor Trend as the SUV of the year, plus the big gas-guzzling Pontiac Vibe that's got the power of a big fancy-schmancy sports car. And as always, you'll find a great selection of dependable used cars, trucks, and SUVs. And like I tell you every single time I talk about these folks, this is a dream for deadbeats. And for other people, too. But, I mean, it's great because even if you have marginal credit, even if you have lousy credit, even if you want some new Greg Reed, they'll still cut you a deal at Hallett Pontiac. And don't forget, right now it's the great Neil Deal 0% sale at Hallett Pontiac, 13401 South Dixie Highway. That's US 1 across from the Falls, open every day, 7 days a week. For more information, call the Neil Deal hotline at 1-888-534-4211. That's 1-888-534-4211. Hallett Pontiac GMC, who definitely say we be professional grade.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM. Time to get it on.
Teenagers today need choices that reflect the reality of their complex lives.
Abstinence is often preached, but is really not realistic in today's society. And same-sex encounters are uncomfortable for most boys and girls. What's a teen to do? Technical Virgins of America has the answer. In the Butt. A way you can technically still be a virgin and enjoy a rich and satisfying intimate relationship. In the Butt avoids unwanted pregnancies, but still affords fun for both parties. So, the next time you're ready to strip down for action, remember the motto of the Technical Virgin. Everything but. Technical Virgins of America, offering alternatives for today's teens.
Up the butt. 933, butt out, Gildy. 933 at 560 WQM. Look at the votes we got on here. 7,000 votes. 186. Which TV network slants the news the most? Fox 56, CBS 39, all of them 37, CNN 31, which I still... Do you understand that?
No, not at all.
I mean, that's part of their reputation. See, and of course, the Fox people are always saying, oh, well, CNN has that liberal slant on the news. Now, CBS, yes, we do know that. We know that Dan's a good liberal boy, which is why I watch the news every night. I like a little left slant. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
CNN 31, NBC 12, which Tom Merkel, I can't understand what he's saying, so how do I know if he's slanting it or not? ABC 8, Peter Jennings, I would say, that's the George Will Network anyway. Very much to the right. MSNBC 2, nobody watches them. None of them won. They finally got one for none of them. Now, have I got that Donahue thing? What did I tell you days and days ago? Here it is. Donahue most likely to exit stage left. We'll get to that eventually from USA Today. Now, that call you got on there in Orlando, what are the odds? Because I got so much important stuff here today, Carlos. What are the odds that's going to be a good call?
About 5%.
Because the first guy, now he was, it wasn't spectacular, but he brought up a good point, brought something to our attention that needs to be addressed, doesn't it?
Yes.
Then don't forget to put a stamp on it. Here's Orlando. Hello.
I can add something to that, Neil.
Okay.
They had a Marlins baseball game from May filling in during one of the breaks like 2 days ago. Or
Jesus Christ almighty.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Anyway,
echo today.
Let me start out with Dennis is a major asshole because you're informative and entertaining. You find out a bunch of information, and I hope you can answer this question for me. You were in Miami Market in 81, correct?
81, yes.
Your Real Radio page with all the old radio bits, I found one last night. Now, I remember WNYQ. I don't remember I-95. I found that. But there was a station that went off the air in 81.
Yeah.
96X, and they lost their license. The FCC took it away. Do you have any knowledge of that, or can you enlighten me?
Yeah, they were running bogus contests, and they lost their license, 96X. But I'm not sure. Is that what did that become? Did that become Power?
Yep.
96.5?
I'm not sure what
that
it was.
became Power 90. No, I'm asking George, not you, because obviously you're, yeah, it became Power 96.
Oh.
I think.
Well, there's a bit on there with them doing the sign-off, and it was Charter Broadcasting.
Yeah, they did a whole bunch of bogus contests, and they finally yanked their license.
Oh, thank you very much.
And have a great day.
You too now.
And thanks for the surprise. How do you like that? Now, there was a guy that had a little something to say. I heard an echo on these calls today, though. You notice that?
I don't hear it.
No, not now, but on the call I heard an echo. Well, if you don't hear it, I'm happy. That's all I care about, whether it's on the air or not. 7-year-old reports drunken babysitter. Covington, Louisiana. Oh, don't you love Covington, Louisiana? One of my favorite places.
Never been there.
Me neither. But just the sound of it, you know. Isn't there also a Covington, Kentucky? Yes, there is. A babysitter with 5 children in her car was arrested for drunken driving after she passed out at a rest stop, and one of the kids, a 7-year-old girl, used a cell phone to call 911. Linda Hebert, 40, of Picayune, Mississippi. Oh, yeah! Picayune, Mississippi. Don't you love them French southern names like in Louisiana and Mississippi? What?
I'm laughing.
There's something about that whole Creole thing, you know?
Yep.
Where they throw all that crap in there, you know, what are they, okra?
Cajun.
They slice up a little okra and just jam it in the pot. Linda Hebert, 40, of Picayune, Mississippi, was found slumped over the steering wheel Sunday, and the car was still running, said St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office said. The children were not hurt. Hebert's blood alcohol level registered .27 on a breath test, well over the .10 limit, the report be saying. Deputies said they had her use pepper spray when Hebert became combative, and she remained jailed on Monday. 2 of the children, ages 5 and 9, were Hebert's. The others, 4, 6, and 7, were left in their care by a woman who expected Hebert to keep them in Picayune, more than 20 miles from the Interstate 12 rest stop near Covington, where the car was found. A passerby at the rest stop let the 7-year-old call for help, authorities said. Kind of sounds almost a little bit like Susan Smithish, you know what I'm saying? Not that anybody died, but Susan was kind of like wandering around, out driving, planning what she was going to be doing. Wandering around all over town, and of course her kids wind up drowned. Democrats question items in Homeland bill, and this is what I alluded to yesterday when I caught myself in the middle of that story that was talking about the Homeland bill being signed. Not so fast. Not so fast. The bill creating a Department of Homeland Security ran into a new hurdle yesterday when Republican Senator John McCain announced he would side with Democrats on a key vote yet today to strip 7 special interest provisions from the bill passed last week by the GOP-led House. And I'm going to tell you something. If this country, if the U.S. of A. was full of people who really were activists and into it and aware of what the hell was going on around them, there'd be people marching in the streets in protest. Here we keep being told that, Homeland Security, this is the number one priority, and yet all of the pork they got in there, I guarantee even Fat Boy never saw so much pork. I don't support a process where the House of Representatives throws a major piece of legislation over to the Senate and says goodbye, McCain said. McCain's switch, as well as the uncertain votes of a handful of Democratic senators and independent Dean Barkley of Minnesota, the make-believe senator, left the bill's passage in doubt. If the provisions are killed from the bill, the House which left town last week would need to return to negotiate the differences in the bills and pass a compromise if one can be reached. And that drooling idiot from Texas, that Phil Graham, every time I see him on TV, the expression immediately comes to mind. Drooling idiot. Well, we gotta get this thing done. Thank God he's out. He's done. The bill, if enacted, would create a 170,000 employee department dedicated to fighting domestic terrorism. Republicans in the House added the provisions to the legislation before it was passed there last week. They stuck in the pork. This Homeland Security bill, the bill the President supported, was 35 pages long. The bill that I've been asked to vote on Monday or Tuesday is 484 pages long, filled with special interest legislation loaded up by the House Republicans in the last few days, said Senator Chris Dodd of Connecticut, and said Sunday CBS's Face the Nation. How come nobody talks about him running for president?
Don't know.
I like Chris Dodd a lot. Of course, his daddy had a few problems, but what's that got to do with him? I think he'd be good. Sure better than Al Gore by a long shot. Of course, he's maybe a little bit too intellectual for the American public, too smart. They like somebody more like Fredo, Republicans defend the provisions as legitimate, say they pertain to Homeland Security. For example, they say new liability protections are needed to encourage companies to develop new anti-terrorism technologies. Several Republicans said the Democrats raised the objection because they don't want to see the bill enacted. House Majority Whip, the unctuous Tom DeLay, Republican of Texas, issued a statement saying House Republicans should return to Washington and take on the Senate Democrats, especially Senate Majority Leader Tom Daschle of South Dakota. The provisions as described by Daschle's office would do the following. Enact new liability protection for pharmaceutical companies for the vaccines they make. Gut a Senate amendment that would prohibit the government from signing contracts with companies that move their headquarters offshore where they don't have to pay U.S. taxes. You following these now?
Okay.
Provide liability protection for airport screening companies. Create a Homeland Security Research Center program at U.S. University. At a U.S. university, Democrats said legislation is written in such a way as to create the center at Texas A&M University in Texas, home to some powerful GOP lawmakers and Bush, including the unctuous drooling Phil Graham of Texas. Provide liability protection for the TSA, or for to companies that sell anti-terrorism technologies or products, erect barriers to the TSA for the issuance of some security rules for travelers, and allow the Department of Homeland Security to hold advisory committee meetings in secret, a move Democrats say is a gift to corporate lobbyists. All this has to do, again, is with big business. That's what the Republican Party is all about, is big religion, big business, and that's it. And guns. That's the Republican Party.
Repression.
Huh?
You forgot repression. Freedom of speech.
Well, that's all part of it, but I'm just talking about the people behind them. That's what it's all about. Big business. And if all of you people out there, if you're all involved in big business, if that's where your livelihood's coming from, then by all means you should be supporting this crap. But other than that, which means the middle people and the little people and most of the rest of everybody, this is a disgrace. Talking out of both sides of their ass. On the one hand, we gotta have passage of this and the president needs this. A bill that was 35 pages long becomes 484 pages long with all the pork they stuck in there. And then they're bellyaching about how the Democrats are holding up the passage of it. Who the hell are you people kidding? And unfortunately, obviously, a lot of people. That's the sad part. That's the sad part. Because you ask the average American person about this, and they're going to say, just like that.
Security's good.
Just like that. Just like if you run into Greg in the hall and say, how you doing, Greg? He's going to go, just like that. What are you saying?
Homeland Security's good. We need that bill passed.
Dummy up. I'm getting late here. I'm getting behind the times. 9:42 at 560 WQAM. If you love your home but you just don't have enough space for all the things you need to be doing, do what hundreds of other people are doing, smart people, and George too. Call Strictly Additions whether you're having a baby, need another room, if you're converting your carport or patio into living space. If you're going into business for yourself and want to make a home orifice, call our good friends at Strictly Additions because they're super. They're your one-stop shop, more space for your place with an absolutely, positively worry-free approach to expanding your living space. You've heard about no-shows by the contractors. These folks will never do that. Incomplete work, no chance. No unexpected bills, no worries about the job not getting done right or finished, and they take care of every last detail. They draw up your blueprints. They get the building permits, handle all the inspections for you. Strictly Additions has got that easy 5-step approach to total customer satisfaction. Write it down on your wrist. First, they call to schedule a free project evaluation appointment right at your home, where a project estimator will determine the scope of your addition. Number 2, schedule a bid appointment in their convenient showroom, where you'll get a detailed proposal and an exact price for the work. Third, select your finishing touches, go to contract. Numero 4, review the design and architectural drawings. And fifth, last but not least, sit back and relax as your dream addition moves ahead on schedule with unbeatable quality. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Give Strictly Additions a call, 954-791-8100. They're licensed, they're insured professionals who do a super job for you. You can check them out in the Yellow Pages if you like, and they serve all of Broward and South Palm Beach County. Tell them that old Neil and Petey Lenny sent you by for a super job every time at Strictly Additions. Call them today at 954-791-8100.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
Anybody have a heart or a liver?
Before you head out on your next jihad, make sure you're carrying the Palestinian weapon of choice, the West Bank 44 Magnum Semi-Automatic Rock. The 44 Magnum Rock is specially designed with very sharp edges for maximum damage at very close throwing range. The West Bank 44 Magnum Semi will have your enemies ducking for cover before you even release your throw. Once you feel the weight of the West Bank, you'll never use another rock again. Get yours today while supplies last. The West Bank 44 Magnum, available at the blown-up West Bank building near you.
You're just jealous because Castro had guns. 946 at 560 WQAM. Which TV network slants the news the most? 258 votes. Some of these might even be real, you think?
No.
Couple. Fox 79. All of them 45. I shouldn't have put all of them on there, because that's an easy out. It's a cop-out, as opposed to, making a real choice. CBS 44, CNN 41, NBC 33, and it just changed again on me. I hate that. Fox 80, all of them 48. CBS 44, CNN 42, NBC 36, ABC 12, MSNBC 4, and none of them won. See, MSNBC's only got 4, and you want to know why?
Why?
Because nobody watches it.
Oh, could that be it?
So even if they did slant the news, even if they were ultra-liberal or whatever the hell they were, even if they had a big swastika on the screen, no matter what they were, it wouldn't make any difference. Because nobody watches MSNBC. And I mean nobody. I watch it. How do you like that? At least sometimes I watch that good show Phil had with Michael Moore. Now that was the only good show he had, but nevertheless I was lucky enough to see that. And once in a while I see Nachman when I want to see somebody that's fatter than I am and feel better about myself. And I do like, what's his name? Lester Holt. You like him?
Who?
Lester Holt, the news anchor guy. He's good.
I don't watch MSNBC.
Get out of here. You don't know who Lester Holt is?
Nope.
I bet you Carlos knows who that is.
If I saw him, I probably knew him, but the name...
You both, you're going back, okay? Get on a banana boat. You're both going back.
And I do watch MSNBC.
And you don't know who Lester Holt is? He's like a light-complected black guy?
I think I do. Now that you said that, I think I do.
A great deep voice. Come on, get out of here. Lester Holt's a damn good news reader. I'm not saying he's a great journalist by any stretch, but he's a good news reader guy. Kind of like, on election night he was lost. He had no idea what was going on. Just stick to the script, Lester. You're doing today. I like him. There's a few things I like on MSNBC, and especially that 2 to 4 with my close personal friend Pat Buchanan and Bill Press. I just still can't believe I'm saying that about Pat Buchanan. I like the show. I just like the show. And on a lot of issues, Pat is he's right on target. I hate to say that, too. Did you hear me say that?
I know, I'm writing it down.
You didn't hear me say it.
I did.
You thought you heard me say that. Secret court, speaking of fascism, secret court okays broad wiretap powers.
Oh my God.
Exactly. In a victory for the Bush administration, a secretive appeals court yesterday ruled the U.S. government has the right to use expanded powers to wiretap terrorism suspects under a law adopted after the 9/11 attacks. Terrorism suspects like George and Carlos, who don't know who Lester Holt is. You better know your Lester Holt, mister, because you sure don't.
Nope.
The ruling was a blow to civil libertarians who say the expanded powers which allow greater... I'm going to tell you right now, I want somebody to call in who knows who Lester Holt is before I continue this story. Now, it's definitely not going to be this call because they were already on there in Miami. Miami, hello.
Anti-American fag.
Okay, let's, not one call on the board. There's nobody watches MSNBC. 5670, and that guy's worse than Dennis, by the way, the one I was just on there, that idiot.
Yes, he is.
WQAM.
He's kind of creepy looking. He's scary looking. He looks like he's hostile.
But you don't think he's a good news anchor?
No.
Okay. But at least he knew who it was. WQAM. Asshole. WQAM, Lester Holt line.
Hey, Lester Holt's great, man. I listen to him a lot. And he always has that guy on from the Army doing the,
with the map.
The strategic stuff about the war and all that.
The map guy, yeah. Yeah, what's not to like?
Great.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. That was Phil Donahue calling in. It's not going to save your job, Phil. Too late. Sorry, Phil, you're out. Remember The Godfather? You're out, Tom.
Maybe I can help.
You're out. WQAM. Hola. Can you believe that? Every line is flashed, and the one that I pick up, there's nobody on it. QAM, hello.
Yeah, Neil, I'm a big MSNBC follower.
Yeah.
You don't like Chris Matthews?
What did he just say?
You don't like Chris Matthews?
Okay, I hate Chris Matthews.
Oh.
I mean, once in a great while he'll do something that makes sense, but he's an idiot.
Yeah, Lester Holt's okay.
And the thing I hate about Chris Matthews is he'll ask a guest a question, and while the guy's trying to answer the question, he's like starting to talk again. Like after the guy says like 3 words, yeah. I don't like Chris Matthews. He makes my skin crawl. Yeah.
I like Nora O'Donnell though.
Yeah, she's the best. Okay. She's okay. How do you like this? We found some people. I guarantee you the Fox people may hate us, but the MSNBC people like us. The only problem with that is there are no MSNBC people. See how it is to be in a minority? We got to make a coalition of all the minorities. You know, the people with one finger up their ass and the people with the left-handed people and you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All the minorities. Like the Floridians with an IQ larger than their thumb size. Yeah, I got this story about the Alabama judge. I got down. Just relax. Look at the writing on this. Neil, don't know if you just calm down, okay? Relax. I got it. I'm on top of it. I got a pile here all the way up to the goddamn ceiling. So what was the verdict on Lester Holt? Lester Holt line, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Faggot.
What is it? What do you say, faggot?
Yeah, faggot.
Oh, I didn't know Lester was gay. WQAM.
Yeah, I listened to Lester Holt. I think he's excellent. I wouldn't mind seeing him going over to NBC on a more on a partial basis.
Yeah, replace that stinking Tom Brokaw with that bad speech defect. Lester Holt's got a great voice.
He does a great voice. He presents himself well. Just don't know what his policies are, but don't really care.
Exactly, and you know something that's good that we don't know what you're not. When a guy's anchoring the news, you're not supposed to know what his policies are.
Exactly.
Okay, thanks. And what's the frequency, Kenneth? Oh, sorry, Dan. I do like Dan rather, but what is the frequency? Do you know?
No.
The ruling was a blow to civil libertarians who say the expanded powers which allow greater leeway in conducting electronic surveillance and in using information obtained from the wiretaps and searches jeopardize constitutional rights.
Oy!
In a 56-page ruling overturning a May opinion by the Secret Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, did you know that there was a Secret Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court?
I had no idea.
Well, you do now. Not even 10 o'clock yet, and you learned something already. The 3-judge appeal, plus who Lester Holt is, the 3-judge appeals court panel said the Patriot Act gave the government the right to expanded powers. That dastardly Patriot Act. Sweeping anti-terror legislation called the USA Patriot Act and signed into law in October last year after the hijacked plane attacks makes it easier for investigators and prosecutors to share information obtained by surveillance and searches. In the May ruling, the 7 judges that comprise the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court unanimously told the government it had gone too far in interpreting the law to allow broad information sharing. The Justice Department appealed, saying the order limited the kind of coordination needed to protect national security. Attorney General John Ashcroft hailed yesterday's ruling and said he was immediately implementing new regulations and working to expedite the surveillance process. They're watching you guys, I'll tell you that. George and Carlos.
Okay.
And Julio. They're watching you. The Court of Review's action revolutionizes our ability to investigate terrorists and prosecute terrorist attacks, Ashcroft said. This decision does allow law enforcement officials to learn from intelligent officials and vice versa. Civil liberties groups which had urged the appeals court comprised of 3 appeals court judges named by Supreme Court Chief Justice William Rehnquist to uphold the court's order, slammed the ruling. We are deeply disappointed with the decision which suggests that this special court exists only to rubber-stamp government applications for intrusive surveillance warrants, said Ann Beeson of the ACLU. The groups had argued that broader government surveillance powers would violate the Fourth Amendment, which protects against unreasonable searches and seizures. But the appeals court said the procedures are required under the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, and they were reasonable. We think the procedures and government showings required under the FISA, if they do not meet the minimum Fourth Amendment warrant standard, certainly come close, the judges wrote in their ruling, which was partially declassified and published. We therefore firmly believe that FISA as amended is constitutional because the surveillances it authorizes are reasonable. How do you like that? Broad wiretap powers. Anybody in there, they're going to be watching you, man. They got a camera right up your ass to make sure who's being naughty and nice. But that's the way it goes because we're fighting that war on terror, you know? Just forget about all that pork that they try to stick on that in that bill. The Homeland Security bill. Right. All the pork all the time. It's getting to the point now they're trying to stick so much extra crap in there. America, you know what America's dilemma is right now?
What's that?
If I can find it, I think we got pork
up the butt
is what we got. You know what I'm saying? With what they're trying to do, that Homeland Security bill, America is stuck with pork
up the butt,
and that's not good. That's not a good thing. That's what the president said. Which TV network slants the news the most? We asked in our very, very popular poll on NeilRogers.com today, in which we're getting a just foaming at the mouth response. 316 votes. Now, how many do you think are real? About 20?
Maybe.
Fox 92. All of them 55. CNN 53. CBS 50. NBC 47. ABC 14. The George Will Network. MSNBC 4, and none of them won. Poor MSNBC. I think what they should do to get an audience, they should just put a bunch of people on there, maybe Donahue, if he wants to say, and just going like that, you know, in front of the camera. Don't you think that would be a great idea?
I think they could use a news flasher if they had people
and
on
as people are channel surfing and they saw people going like that and waving their arms, you know, frantically and flapping their eyelids, I would sure cause a lot of people to stop clicking the channel for a second and, you know, and see what this is all about.
Maybe funny hats.
I don't think so. Now, funny hats won't do. Well, funny hats, on addition to going like that and waving their arms. And maybe like some Patch Adams noses couldn't hurt. Maybe Clarabelle the Clown noses. And also the little horn Clarabelle had, you know.
Right.
The little squeaker there. You want to get some attention, MSNBC, you're going to have to resort to some very drastic measures because nobody is watching your network. As Harvey Pack used to say, nobody had the pick six. At least not legally, anyway. 9:57 at 560 WQM. The Mad Dog's coming at 1. Hank is back in town at 3 with Ira Windeman between 4 and 5, and Randy McMichael at 5 to 6. George, what is that? George Michael? Chico Panther preview 7 to 7:30. The Panthers at Atlanta 7:30. Eddie K after the hockey game from GA, and Joe and Mark overnight. Thanksgiving, baby, is coming any day. Just a few days away. Everyone's flocking to be home together again, gathered around the table with delicious homemade food and family traditions. After all, it's not the turkey that makes the meal special, it's the people and the stuffing and the kishki. Getting ready for the hungry guests can be a real stressful deal, especially if they're staying overnight. If you're having a house full for Thanksgiving, let Dial Mattress make your holiday preparations a little bit easier. Now's the time to call them at 1-800-MATTRESS and get that new mattress in before the house guests arrive. If they already told you that they're coming, or even if you don't hear from them till the night before. Dial Mattress can deliver right into your house a top-quality Sealy, Serta, Simmons, or King Kroll mattress the same day. Hear what I said? I said house.
House.
I'm starting to get a little Canadian, eh?
I noticed it.
I've been sleeping on a Dial Mattress for years, for a coon's age, Mo, and let me tell you, they're the best. Call Dial Mattress right now at 1-800-MATTRESS and talk turkey with a betting consultant to choose from the very best mattresses at even better prices.
Jesus Christ.
You can rest easy this Thanksgiving knowing that everybody is sleeping like a baby. So get ready for the holidays right now by calling 1-800-MATTRESS. That's 1-800-MATTRES for Dial Mattress. Brand name bed, same day service. Call them now, be sleeping like a baby tonight. Tell them that old Neil and Fat Boy, be sure and tell them that I told you to call 1-800-MATTRESS.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
I know that the Lord even loves Neil Rogers.
Go to hell.
From New York State to California, Greta used to scare you on the screen. Old face made you stare and wonder and say, I'm glad that ain't me. Cosmetic surgery was what she had intentioned.
That surgeon did some things I'd rather not mention right now. But he lifted up those eyes, stretched her face back in place. Now today a skies like me say, Greta, you ain't half bad. You were once an old hag. Now Greta Van Susteren, I love you. Greta, you ain't half bad. You look so new. You look so new.
She still looks like crap to me, I'll tell you that. 10:03 at 560 WQAM. Alabama Chief Justice told to remove 10 Commandments from building. Let's hear it.
All right.
Montgomery, Alabama. A 10 Commandments monument in the rotunda of Alabama's judicial building violates the Constitution's ban on government promotion of religion, a federal judge ruled yesterday.
Oh!
U.S. District Judge Myron Thompson gave Alabama Chief Justice Roy Moore, who had the 5,300-pound granite monument installed in the state building, 30 days to remove it. Moore testified during the trial that the commandments are the moral foundation of American law. He said the monument acknowledges God but doesn't force anyone to follow his conservative Christian religious beliefs. Right. A lawsuit seeking removal of the monument argued that it promoted the judge's faith in violation of the Constitution's ban on government establishment of religion. This is a question of whether the politically powerful can impose their views on others. Southern Poverty Law Center attorney Daniel Lipow argued during the trial before Thompson. Moore testified he decided to locate a monument to the 10 Commandments in the building shortly after he was elected Chief Justice in November 2000. The monument, which features the King James Bible version of the 10 Commandments sitting on top of a granite block, is one of the first things visitors see upon entering the building. How do you like that?
I don't. Although I'm glad he lost.
And then, of course, one of this, like I said, the listener just foaming at the mouth faxed me this lengthy. I'm glad I had the shorter version of this story, the lengthy one from the New York Times, which I appreciate your faxing it, but it just goes on and on and on and on. And it does say, in Alabama, there's no underestimating the popularity of religion and defiance. While fundamentalists in Kansas lost their battle for creationism and supporters of organized school prayer were defeated in Texas, evangelical Christians still set the agenda here in Alabama with a banjo on their knee. This is the state, after all, where high school science books have stickers on them saying evolution is just a theory. Nice. Justice Moore tapped right into this, becoming a figurehead in the movement pushing for more religion in public life. The 55, it's what it's called is religious intolerance is what it's called, trying to shove it down your throat, and a religion too. That's what we despise on this program most about intolerant assholes, okay? Try to shove their views on everything right down your throat, make you an offer you can't refuse.
Dennis.
My way or the highway. Dennis is a good example. In fact, maybe Dennis ought to move to Alabama, huh? No, I wouldn't wish that even on them.
We don't cotton to Catholics over here.
We don't cotton to them kind down here, I'll tell you that right now, mister. We'll send your ass right up the goddamn Coolawasi River to Antry. Eh? I can just see Dennis up there in the woods, you know, just like Ned Beatty. Come on, squeal like a pig, Dennis. Attaboy. Squeal. The 55-year-old judge, a former ranch hand and kickboxer, does radio shows, helps raise money for evangelical groups, and travels roads near and far in his old blue Cadillac, promoting his unique blend of church and state. Today's decision was hailed by civil liberties groups as proof that there are limits. Justice Moore was elected to administer justice, not to serve as a religious minister, said Richard Cohen, general counsel of the Southern Poverty Law Center, one of the parties that sued last month to have the 10 Commandments removed. Justice Moore's lawyer said the federal courts were confused. He vowed to appeal the ruling. And on it goes. So there you go, Justice Moore loses, but they'll continue appealing all the way to the Supreme Court, and then God only knows.
Absolutely correct, sir.
God only knows.
Oh, God.
Like I started to say before my finger slipped, what's going to happen there with these Supremes. Which network on TV slants the news the most? Roger Ailes. Which one could it be? All that ails you, huh? See, Heather, you weren't fooling anybody at the point. Well, you may have been fooling a few people. But you sure as hell weren't fooling me. She was just doing her duty, that's all. As a goose-stepping member of the Fox organization, to call and stir up a bunch of crap about this show and have a whole bunch of people who don't even listen to this show, like stirring the pot. People who don't even listen to the people never heard of me or this show. Oh, he's a racist. And then, like I said at the time, the irony of it is that those people are far, far from being like civil liberties champions.
Yeah.
To say the best. Some of those are the same people that were like lynching black people like, 5 minutes ago, but right away they got to come to the aid of Condoleezza and Colin Powell because they're our house Negroes. See, that's what it's all about. Although I noticed that Colin, he's got a little hot water. He's stirring the pot a little bit too much. And as Clarence Thomas learned, if you smoke it a little bit, that's okay as long as you're one of them. If you stir it, then you got a real problem. How many votes we got? 7,000? 364. Can you imagine what kind of a total we're going to have tomorrow on this poll?
Can't wait.
I bet you we have at least 100 real votes. Which TV network slants the news the most? Fox 116. All of them 68. CNN 58. CBS 53. NBC 49. ABC 14. Small potatoes. MSNBC 5. And none of them won. I guess if they figure MSNBC slants the news, that's to the left, right? Certainly not to the right. Because other than Pat Buchanan, well, Chris Matthews, he's all over the place. He just makes me ill. I remember that one day I came in and I was cheering. It was on one of those Wednesday night forums in front of those college kids, and he was railing against the war and invading Iraq. I mean, I happen to agree with what he was saying, but he really did a great job. Oh, it was the night he had John McCain on.
Oh.
And really let him have it the first few minutes there. He did a great job. So Chris Matthews, like I said, is all over the place, but about 90% of the time I can't stand him, which is not a particularly good batting average, you know what I'm saying? Now, some people would say, well, I'm sure he don't care about that. He cares about everybody, because when you got as few people watching as MSNBC does, they can't afford to lose any of us. Here's a call from Hollywood. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I know who Lester Holt is. He's one of the lead pitchmen for General Electric's We Bring Big War to Life campaign. Yeah. Definitely part of the military-industrial complex. I have an ode to the Fourth Amendment.
But he's got a nifty map there, though. You got to like that map.
Well, it's beautiful. Graphics, presentation. Wow, it looks so good. And yet
in
we
fact,
never
if you
hear
have
about...
if you have HD TV, when they start dropping the bombs, it's going to look like one dropped right in the middle of your living room.
Positively orgasmic. I lived the war. I lived it. It's sad but true, especially when you realize it's no longer journalism. It's really public relations. If it was journalism, we'd hear something about Mike Vreeland, the guy who was locked up in Canada, who has been in the service here. The Navy even admitted he was with them. You can Google Mike Vreeland and have a day of, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's Vreeland, but it's a very interesting story. It's reported in Canada. It doesn't make it down here for some reason.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff reported here that don't make it there.
But it's about us. I mean, it's a 9/11. It's at the core of 9/11.
Well, keep in mind that Michael Moore had to come up here to film that Bowling for Columbine movie. He had to come up here to film it because nobody would finance it down there.
It's like occupied Florida is what, especially when you see in the past week that it's reported that sure there's going to be about 200 to 250,000 troops going to Iraq, but there's also going to be about 265,000 reservists and National Guard called up to be deployed mostly in the U.S. To patrol the airports and to do anything else that terrorism might.
I think they're knocking on your door right now, as a matter of fact.
Not yet, sir. But I do have a note to the Fourth Amendment real quick. When Johnny comes marching through your house, hurrah, hurrah, he'll treat you worse than a lily dormouse, hurrah, hurrah. He won't use a warrant or even just cause, but that won't stop the public's applause when Johnny does the Patriot Act, march through your house for you.
Okay. Oh, wow. What did he have for breakfast this morning, huh?
I don't know, but I want some.
5670560. We'll mix a few calls in here and there, like I said, little mix and match. Got a lot of stuff today, important stuff. We got that Atkins diet thing, which I know this audience don't want to hear about diets, but it's a little vindication for yours truly. And I'm going back on it right now. I'm doing Atkins right now with my iced tea. I don't eat in the morning. I just don't eat. You notice I don't eat during the show when I'm not there?
Right.
And remember when I was there, I was eating on the show?
Yes.
Another good reason not to be there. If I was still there, I'd weigh like 600 pounds. I don't know what that is either. I guess it's just more comfortable here. That it's not an eating environment because it's just my apartment. And if I want to, I can go in the kitchen and go in the refrigerator, but there's nothing there.
That's all there is to do here.
There's frozen hamburgers in there, but I'm sure not going to start cooking up hamburgers in the middle of the show.
Yeah, fry 'em right up.
And then we got Phil Donahue most likely to exit. Then we got the OJ thing where the New York Times said that Tiger should skip the Masters, which gets all you guys very upset, including Dennis, who says, oh, they shouldn't be picking on a member of a minority to champion that cause. They should be picking one of the people who was doing the discriminating. Well, that sounds asinine to me. What's wrong with both? Huh? Both. B-O-F, Dennis. Both. What's wrong with having Tiger Woods since he was part of that minority that was banned not that long ago by the Blue Noses at the Masters? How come he shouldn't be championing for all the other minorities too? Doesn't that make sense to you?
Yeah, but shut up.
That's right. Don't be knocking at, this is a male club. Like George Will said, that sexist, homophobic, obnoxious, disgusting pig who runs ABC News. In fact, that This Week, they used to be This Week with David Brinkley. No wonder David's eyes fell out of their sockets, huh? No wonder why he retired. Why he always had tears running down his eye ducts. Because of freaking George Will. Because if there's anybody can screw up the party, George Will. You follow what I'm saying?
What are you saying?
And I'll give you a good example. He's a big Cubs fan, right? Look at what happened to them. Oh, brother. 1013 at 560 WQA, and there's never been a better time to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home than right now. Hell yes. How about this rate? 3.95%. That's correct. Financial Group can offer you an unprecedented, almost unheard of 3.95%, but you got to make that call. Call Financial Group and find out how this works. Call 1-800-940-LEND. That's 1-800-940-5363. The money you're going to save is sensational. It's really
unbelievable.
It is. Think about it. You can get yourself a $100,000 loan for only $450 a month, or get you a $200,000 loan for only $950 a month. The process is simple. You're going to save yourself a crap load of money every year. Just call our good friends at Financial Group, toll free, 1-800-940-LEND. There's never been a better or smarter time to get you a low interest rate than right now. So call Financial Group and you'll be on your way to saving a big bunch of cash. Financial Group is an equal housing lender. Credit restrictions do apply and rates are subject to change. So call them now toll free, 1-800-940-LEND. That's 1-800-940-5363.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
It stinks in Miami town. Oh, at 560 WQAM.
And then the Lord said, "Let there be light." And lo, there was light. From the same people who brought you the much-beloved Talking Bible comes a new 10-volume set, brilliantly updated for the 80s. Yes, it's the Rapping Bible.
There was dark everywhere. Then the man said, light, and the light was there. He said, I've done good, there's no doubt. On the seventh day, he just chilled out. Genesis, beginning of that, beginning of this.
Finally, the good book is bad, and his word is nasty.
Check it out. There's a town called Sodom and Gomorrah. Everybody partied like no tomorrow. God looked down, said, not my fault. Don't look back or you turn to salt. Lot's wife took a peek, started to freak. The cow came up and licked her cheek. Take a lick, y'all, of a cheek, y'all.
Imagine all the Psalms, all the parables, every sacred biblical word interpreted by the finest sucker MCs of all time.
Genesis, Exodus, Deuteronomy.
The Rapping Bible, making his word fresh again.
1018 at 560 WQM. Happy Tuesday, too. Should I do that Palm Beach call and clean the slate? Yeah, right. Here's West Palm Beach. Hello.
Yes, good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hold update. He was a country and western DJ, I think, in Sacramento, and he came to MSNBC when Jerry Nachman came to MSNBC. They were friends.
Really? Well, it looks like Jerry stole all his food.
Took every bit of it. But
Yeah.
When he first started this show, that was one of the interviews he did, and he talked about bringing him with him. So that's the latest Lester Holt update. And
Now, do you like Lester Holt?
I love Lester Holt.
He's good.
Yeah, he's entertaining, and I think the reason most people like him is that he's not a news person. You know, he just tells it the way he sees it.
He's just a natural guy.
Natural guy. Thanks, Neil.
Okay, thanks a lot. Tell Jerry to put down the fork. Of course, Jerry, he's one of those guys. He don't need the fork. He'll just gum it right off the plate. Come on, Jerry. One less meal today, okay? Please. Atkins works, Jerry. And that guy's going to explode right out of his out of his clothing. Voice on tape is Bin Laden's, U.S. intelligence says. It's him. Maybe there was like a little bit, well, we're not too sure. Not anymore. Not anymore. And you want to know, of course, it's kind of embarrassing that we have to admit that it's really him, because it means it's a year plus a couple of months now. Let's see, October, 14 months. And he's still alive. American intelligence analysts said today they've concluded that the voice on an audio tape that emerged last week was indeed Osama Yamama bin Laden's voice, and that the tape was made quite recently. The authentication of the tape, while not unexpected, is quite significant in that it represents an official determination after almost a year of doubt that the terrorist leader was still alive. The conclusion follows days of intensive analyzation of the tape by experts at the CIA and the NSA. The analysis included studies by linguists and translators familiar with Mr. bin Laden's voice. The experts said earlier that the tape appeared to be genuine, but they refrained from saying so definitively until, well, this is yesterday. The intelligence experts do believe that the tape is genuine. White House spokesman Scott McClellan said at a news briefing, Mr. McClellan conceded that the genuineness of the tape cannot be stated with 100% certainty, but he said again that intelligence officials believe it is real. Is real, is what he said. Is real. You notice how he slipped that in there just for the pacify those born-again Christians? Is real. Is real. Just keep saying that. Until the tape was broadcast last week, there had been speculation about whether Mr. bin Laden, the presumed mastermind... Oh, get out of here, presumed mastermind. See what I'm saying about the news media? Everything has to be the alleged, like the snipers, the alleged snipers, the presumed terrorists. Get out of here. You're all too busy covering your damn ass. That's what it's all about. Just like this terrorist warning. They don't want to raise the thing from yellow to orange because that gets people panicky. But they're saying, we're expecting spectacular attacks. Because if they keep saying this every couple of weeks, it's called CYA, baby, covering their ass. We knew something was coming. We couldn't put our thumb on it, but we knew something was coming. They don't know squat. But now that they can wiretap everybody and be hiding under your bed and in your closet and in the kitchen in the pop-up toaster. In fact, next thing you know, you're going to hit how you hit that thing when the toast is supposed to pop up? Right. And instead of toast coming out of there, John Ashcroft's head's going to pop up. How do you like that? Maybe Jocelyn Elders will be popping up. Maybe she's got one in the toaster. Study finds, speaking of that, what a nice segue, by accident. Study finds Atkins diet may have surprising benefit on cholesterol. Quit the starch, okay? No SS. Those are the evil twins. Sugar and starch. And I just can't stop the sugar.
How about starch with sugar on it?
You know what really gets me? There are restaurants, many of them, especially up here. I don't know what they're thinking about. But there are restaurants where you go in and order for example, in the pizza joints. And down there, Pizza Hut does it all the time. They have these specials where you get pizza and breadsticks.
Yeah.
Right. Have you ever heard of such a bad combination in your life? Here's your spaghetti and meatballs with a big side of mashed potatoes and gravy on the side. You see what I'm saying? There's something wrong there, man.
It's kind of the same thing anyway. Breadstick and they give you the same pizza sauce that's going on the pizza. It's kind of like build your own pizza.
God.
It's redundant.
Don't we have enough starch already? That would be like going to the pizza loft and getting garlic rolls with all you. Of course you do because they're so damn good, and I see that spot's coming up in a minute. Anyway, proving once again that about once every 10 years I get something right. I was the champion. Remember that great signing we had with Dr. Bob Atkins over at the Sawgrass? We had people lined up from wherever you folks are sitting all the way to goddamn Jacksonville. We had them lined up by the hundreds, literally.
Are we allowed to talk about what an asshole he was on that particular occasion yet?
Yes. Well, what do you mean yet?
I don't remember touching on it.
I don't think he was such an asshole. What do you mean by that? You mean
he was the store owner said?
He was a little arrogant and egotistical?
A little bit, and he wanted a microphone, and he wanted to be able to address the crowd, and he wanted to talk to everybody individually about their particular concerns.
Well, let me say this to you, okay? With all due respect, because you're not fat anyway, so you don't know what you're talking about. The fact is that those of us who are fat, if we find something that works for us, even once in a while when we're able to do it, we'll kiss his ass. We don't care how arrogant he is, what an ego he's got, what bad infomercials he did, and believe me, they were the worst I ever saw in my life with those real jappy New York broads. Remember those?
Right. How
Try
overpriced
the diet,
the vitamins
it really
are.
works. Call Dr. Atkins. Buy our products. They were disgusting. They were like walking ads for anti-Semitism. They were the reasons that so many people hate New York, were the people in those infomercials. Anyway, but you see, there you go again, picking on people. I think Mo's he's got you pegged right. The more I hear him talk about you, the more I think he's got you sized up real good. Listen, I'm serious. I think he's starting to get it.
I know.
Do you think he's getting it?
I think he's
catching on,
warming up.
Well, it's about damn time, okay?
Off, as the case
the clock was ticking, baby. Time was running out, Mo, and all of a sudden he started catching on, loosening up a little bit, warming up like to the human race. Which I see. There you go. One more time. Will you let me do the goddamn story, please?
One more
time. And now it's almost time for the break again. I don't want to gloss over this, and I know that immediately a lot of dials, there he goes with that fat talk again. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt of all the things that I could talk about on this show, the last thing anybody in this audience wants to hear about is fat and diets.
Yeah, no Mo with that.
because they've heard me fail on this for like 20 some odd years. Although, it's a long ways down from 240 pounds to 193.
Yes.
Which 240 was about the peak of the IOD days. How I survived that.
I saw those pictures.
Oh, man.
There were two of you in the same skin.
And you know what I was on back in those early days at IOD? Putrid System.
Oh.
Yeah, Putrid System, where they bring you the little tiny cans with the real carbohydrate and there's nothing but carbohydrates and chemicals in there. In fact, it's the 3C diet. Carbohydrates, chemicals, and crap.
I don't remember who the sales rep was, but they would bring you in a garbage bag full of food, and the next day you'd come in and go, all right,
what do I eat today? That was supposed to be for the whole week. What do I eat today? Because the little cans had about a half an ounce of crap in there, and because of the fact it was all refined carbs anyway and stimulated your appetite, you eat one little can and then you'd clear out the whole damn cupboard. And still wouldn't have eaten a damn thing. You'd have about 600 calories. Putrid System, man. So I went from 240, and most of the weight I did lose at that time was on the Atkins, which we'll get to momentarily. And whatever happened to all our friends like the Knots Landing lady, you notice how we've been abandoned? It's not just a thing with the phone calls in general. We've been abandoned by a lot of people who supposedly were our friends, people whose lives I saved, like the Knots Landing lady. I mean, it's the middle of November. It's hardly income tax time now. She's got no excuse that she's too busy to talk to us.
Right.
Little Joey, all those people that used to be our friends. Remember those good days we had some friends out there? Now we have nothing but a bunch of enemies. I mean, we got a few, but just not like it used to be. And then, of course, the thanks for calling lady, she's on the other side. She's in that great talk show heaven now. We miss her badly. I mean, not that she said a lot when she called. She was always brief, but she was fun. She was nice,
She
nice.
was always great.
Which finding somebody nice in South Florida is like looking for a needle on a goddamn Uranus.
Especially if they're old.
1027 at 560 WQAM. Jeff Cohen is going strong. He's not old. His ponytail is a lot older than he is, as a matter of fact. Wait till he shows you his fingernails. All his painted fingernails and his dolphin memorabilia and balia. And the good thing is he stays way out of the kitchen. That's the best thing. In fact, they brought some of the people over from the original pizza lot. They brought over to the new plantation joint. And the food there is exactly the same. See, that's the one thing. When Jeff told me he's going to open up a second location, I said, you better make sure that it's consistently exactly the same as what people have come to expect from you. And it is. I can testify to that because I ate there, when the hell was it, about 5-6 weeks ago? It was sensational. And you'll love it too, at both pizza lofts, in Davie and in Plantation. Every Monday night at the loft is lasagna night. Tuesday, like tonight, is eggplant night. Buy one of these dinners on these nights, get the second one for only $5. Wednesday, kids eat free with adults. They can see Jeff's famous magic show, whip it out for them. Thursday is bike night at the loft. Come on a motorcycle, buy one dinner, get the second for half price. 3 different kinds of great pizza. Delicious, fresh pasta of every kind under the sun, made to order. No mushy pasta at the loft. And they got every kind of Italian dish you love. Chicken and veal, seafood, calzones, super subs, and lots more. And like I said, the best garlic rolls just dripping with garlic you've ever popped in your puss. The prices are very, very modest, and the portions are embarrassingly huge. You'll find them in Davie. That's right there on University Drive between Griffin and 595 behind Pier 1 Imports with huge free parking there. Call 954-916-8880 for takeout, for delivery, and for catering, too. 954-916-8880. And the brand new Pizza Loft with the same great chow and the same deals all week long is on the corner of Nob Hill and Sunrise in Plantation, right behind that drugstore on the corner there. 954-382-1999. 382-1999. Either location, you'll love it. Take the whole gang for a feast at the Pizza Loft.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
People piss me off.
Mr. Lecter, save me a piece. I'm disappointed you passed on Clarice. Still eating people right after you kill them. Not even leaving behind a tiny crumb. Lecter, finger licking. He claims that people taste just like chicken. If you see Hannibal on the streets, better honor you a dead meat. Mr. Lecter, I've got to ask, how do you eat things through that funky mask? Though it looks good, you can't move your jaw. The first cannibal to use a silly straw. Lecter, I wish I saw you pay a visit out to Chappaqua. Eat the Clintons
on your next break. Just remember your Pepsi AC.
10:33 at 560 WQAM. Here's a call from Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Oh, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, nice to talk to you today. I don't know if you read in the paper the other day, we had a small victory over in Kuwait. They caught one of those Al-Qaeda bad guys.
Yeah.
His initials are MF. They won't give his name, just his initials. So I thought maybe in a small celebration of our little victory, you could play maybe later on at your convenience a big bad black guy named Ben.
Okay.
Thank you.
You got it.
All right. Bye.
See ya. Isn't that interesting? Kind of like around the bend way?
No, not really.
Of asking. Come on, I see yours. Why are you so sour?
No, I'm not sour.
I take all the crap on you. First you're ripping my good friend Dr. Bob, although you do have a point. His
diet is brilliant and genius, but he's got an ego, not undeservedly
He's got an
so.
ego, and he's got a personality like a dead man, okay? But you know, you can't have everything. It's like I was talking a few days ago about, like, if you enjoy somebody's work, a comedian or an actor or actress, if you enjoy their work, does that mean they also have to be a nice person on top of that? Is that like a prerequisite?
No,
You're probably
they don't
never
unless you're going to hang with them, like at a
Right.
bookstore during
So
a
what
book signing.
difference does it make?
Nothing to me. Should have.
And I didn't hear any complaints from people that day. I mean, he had he sold 700 and some odd books that day. I bet you we had over 1,000 people there that day.
Over 1,000. That's exactly right.
Can you imagine if we could have added the weight of all those? Oh wow!
Well, if you
it's
could
a
have.
miracle the sawgrass is still there. Talk about a melange of fat.
Yeah, it was
a melange of
porky
mung.
crowd.
Woo! God. But at any rate, so he's not a personable guy. What can I tell you? There are people who would say that we're not personable, like those two broads from Detroit. Well, I sure hope wouldn't you think by now they'd both be dead? They were kind of old then.
No.
We can only hope.
Only the good die young.
Study finds, well, they sure as hell weren't young. Study finds Atkins diet may have surprising benefit on cholesterol. And this is what I tried telling you people years ago. And all these idiot doctors and so-called, when somebody comes on here and says that they're a dietitian or a nutritionist, change the channel immediately. Turn on Lester Holt. Turn on anything. Turn on Jan and Paul. You're more likely to get the truth from Jan and Paul than from a registered nutritionist or dietitian. They know nothing. All they know is that American Medical Association, the pyramid with the fruits and the nuts and the this, a bunch of crap. They know nothing. They have no concept of what diet's really all about, or what addictions are all about, or why people really are fat, disgusting. Multitudes swear by the high-fat, low-carbohydrate Atkins diet, and now a carefully controlled study backs them up.
All right.
How do you like that? After all this time, after all these years, after these so-called experts and doctors were poo-pooing, and it's going to send your cholesterol way up, and it has just the opposite effect for many of us, for most of us. Sends your cholesterol down, increases the good cholesterol, and the LDL, the bad, it knocks it down a little bit. Triglycerides, it knocks way down, because you're eliminating those refined carbohydrates. It says here, this is from the Boston Globe. It's in all the papers. Low carb may actually take off more weight than low fat and may be surprisingly better for cholesterol too. And you remember the scandal about low fat a couple of years ago and it turned out to be a total fraud, which I've been screaming for years?
Yes.
Because something is low fat, what the hell does that mean? If it's still loaded with sugar and with calories and with carbohydrates, you're not going to lose any weight eating low fat. Or even eating Wolfat, who probably don't taste too good now that he's dead.
Yeah,
remember
but
Wolfat? That's right, you don't watch cop shows.
No, but I remember.
For years, the Atkins formula of sparing carbohydrate, and they don't want to say refined carbohydrates. Here's another example of what the media and the doctors don't want to, they don't differentiate. They don't know what they're talking about. And it pisses me off, even more than French people. For years, the Atkins formula of sparing carbohydrates and loading up on taboo fatty foods has been blasphemy to many in the health establishment who view it as a formula for cardiovascular ruin. And do you remember the Channel 4 thing a few weeks ago?
Yes.
Where our friend Troy, Balance for Life, got a nice free, a whole week of free publicity. Thanks to us, by the way. Thanks to us, Troy, and thanks for cutting off the beast, you idiot. But anyway, the lady who went on there, she did okay. She lost 10 pounds in a month, and she continued on the thing because she was happy with it. But of all the people they had on there, they did, how many different ones? About 4 or 5 different ones. They did hypnosis, they did Atkins, they did Balance for Life, and something else.
Voodoo.
Yeah, they were choking the chicken. But of all the ones that they did, the Atkins guy, he lost 30 pounds in a month and was feeling great. One of your people, I think, by the way. One of the people works at Channel 4, one of them Julios, lost 30 pounds in a month. In fact, we ought to get our Julio on it. That big tub of crap. Good guy, but he's going to be dead pretty soon if he doesn't cut it out.
Right.
Seriously, the audience thinks I'm joking, and I realize that this isn't a fun thing. It's embarrassing to us, but we're fat. We're choking on it. Christ. Even Mo agrees with that.
Jesus Christ.
See? But now some of the same researchers who long scoffed at the Atkins diet are putting it to the test, and they say the results astonished them. How do you like that?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Rather than making cholesterol soar, as they feared, the diet actually appears to improve it, and volunteers take off more weight. Huh. Still, the number of overweight people studied this way is small, and the research doesn't examine possible long-term ills or advantages, including how long people keep the pounds off. Maybe that's why we don't hear from the Not Slanty lady anymore. Maybe she ain't with us anymore.
No.
Well, how do you know?
Because we would have heard. Somebody would have.
Well,
her husband.
Or maybe she
told
just
us.
turned on us, like a cornered rat. Or maybe she gained the weight back, which is what I suspect.
Oh.
And she's too embarrassed. So for now, it says the researchers say that much more research is necessary before the Atkins diet can be given an across-the-board endorsement, but at least they believe it's safe enough to take into much larger studies. So they're starting grudgingly to yield on this and say, well, you know what? Maybe it's not so bad after all, huh? At least 3 formal studies of the Atkins diet have been presented at medical conferences over the past year, and all have reached similar results. All. The latest, conducted by Dr. Eric Westman of Duke University, was presented yesterday at the annual scientific meeting of the American Heart Association, long a stronghold of support for the traditional low-fat approach. Westman, an internist at Duke's Diet and Fitness Center, said he decided to study the Atkins approach because of concern over so many patients and friends taking it up on their own. He approached the Robert C. Atkins Foundation in New York City to finance the research. Wait till you hear this. Let me do the break, and then I'll give you the results. I don't want to, shortchange this, okay? And I know it's boring to a lot of you skinny people and a lot of you fat people that are, in denial, but I don't give a crap. Because we've been on this Atkins thing for, about 600 years now? I'd say we've been on it for about 75 years since Dr. Atkins was 50. He was old then, How old do you think he is now?
100.
And he's still around. Didn't he just recently have, open heart surgery or something like that? Yes, he did.
Something like that.
And he's doing fine, is what we're hearing. And they said it had nothing to do with the diet. It was just his crappy personality that George was bitching about. 20 before 11 at 560. See, the world can't all be the way we'd like it to be, okay?
Well, why the hell not?
Well, that's a good question. Let's ask somebody. Expert, like Dennis. 20 to 11 at 560 WQM. Let's face it, you've been hearing about Fast Train for a very long time, right?
Absolutely correct, sir.
Well, the facts are simple. These facts are in. If you have the dedication, Fast Train can provide you with the necessary training to get out of your dead-end job and become a certified computer professional who makes a serious income. According to Time Magazine, the demand for computer professionals will continue to explode. It's getting bigger and bigger, like most of us. Their average student completes the training in 4 short months, attending school 3 nights a week. Once you complete your certification, Fast Train will help you in getting a new computer job. Fast Train invites you to come in and visit our trained career counselor and determine which track is ideal for you. Call Fast Train toll-free at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN to set up an appointment. With 4 convenient locations, there is bound to be one nearby where you live because there's a Fast Train in Kendall, one in Miami, Pembroke Pines, and Fort Lauderdale, too. And don't forget to ask their career counselor for a list of students just like yourself who are currently in their dream jobs thanks to the training they got at Fast Train. Call them today and get all the info. There's no obligation. Call 1-866-FAST-TRAIN, and you could be working at a great new job before spring. That's 1-866-FAST-TRAIN, or check them out on that wicked World Wide Web. It's easy. FastTrain.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAQAM.
The honey, Junior.
Car theft is on the rise. In America, a car is stolen every 12 seconds. What can you do to protect your car? An expensive car alarm system won't protect your car from being stolen. The club won't protect the valuables inside your car. But a big black guy named Ben can.
Get away from the car, motherfucker.
For less than you'd pay for an expensive car alarm system, and even less than you'd pay for the club, you can get a big black guy named Ben to protect your automobile.
Get away from the car, motherfucker.
It's simple to use. Just leave the big black guy named Ben in your car whenever you get out, and he does the rest. Whenever anyone gets within 6 feet of your car, Ben simply gets out of the car and tells them,
Get away from the car, motherfucker.
Listen to these testimonials from people who use a big black guy named Ben.
It's always nice to have someone to ride with, although he really doesn't say much, just...
Get away from the car, motherfucker.
That's about it. I didn't get a big black guy named Ben to chat with. I got him to protect my car. It's the best investment I've ever made.
My neighborhood isn't that great. There have been a lot of car thefts. I can't tell you how many times I've heard...
Get away from the car, motherfucker.
Knowing that I've got a big black guy named Ben protecting my car lets me sleep better at night.
Call now, 1-800-1BIG-GUY. That's 1-800-1-BIGGUI. And instead of hearing this, you'll hear this.
Get away from the car, motherfucker.
1047 at 560 WQM. Anyway, this story before I get back to Atkins, and I noticed I got some immediate response, including this psychotic, how do you like this one fax, huh? Man, with teeny tiny printing, bop, 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 beep, and I can't, it was signed, but I can't read the signature at the bottom here.
Right.
Because it was chopped off. Is it chopped up on yours too?
Yes.
I hate to burst your bubble, but the Atkins diet is a pile of Schmidt and bop, 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 beep, beep, beep. I mean, you need to go to a nutrition class. Yeah, okay. We'll get to that eventually. But I'm shocked at this thing about our good friend Heather.
Oh, there's more.
There's more what?
Another fax came in. I don't know if they're from the same person.
Okay, well, this is from, what is this from? Something.
People.
Recently, Paul Farry of the Washington Post wrote a brilliantly subtle profile of the pundit Heather Nauert. Who the heck is Heather Nauert? Farry asked rhetorically. Before the article, the answer from most people in Washington, or most men, was, isn't she that hot as tar blonde on Fox News? Farry fleshed out the characterization somewhat, but it turns out it's still the right answer. Nauert, 30, frequently appears on television as a GOP strategist, even though she's never worked for the GOP, largely because she's an adequate talker and quickens the pulse of male couch potatoes. From the time I was 16, she says, I knew I wanted to do something on TV. Lo and behold, she's managed to become an expert on elections, foreign affairs, and tax policy, and the show too, by the way, and after a brief stint as a country music VJ. Oh, did I have her pegged right or what?
Yes.
Yeah. Another right-wing set-up deal. She calls on a show and, oh, well, we've been trying to contact you and do a real interview and all that stuff you're playing about poor Condoleezza. Yeah, right. All of this crap about fair and balanced. Let me say it again. That's the motto at Fox. It really should be unfair, unbalanced, all spin all day. All right-wing spin all day. And they do it unabashedly now. That dog and pony show she did with us, I mean, that was as transparent as a pane of glass. As if somehow there are a lot of people upset about it. Well, guess what? We haven't heard from them all this time. How do you like that, huh? But what you're trying to do is whip everybody up into a frenzy, aren't you, Heather? That's one of the paid guns by Rupert Murdoch. It's not just Roger Ailes. It's Rupert Murdoch, who also, of course, owns the unctuous right-wing New York Post, which is a very entertaining newspaper in many ways, but, of course, politically is to the right of Genghis Khan. Just like the Toronto Sun up here. My favorite newspaper out of the four dailies by far. Great newspaper, except for their politics, which are even at the right of the New York Post. How do you like that?
Huh.
Just the way it is. Anyway, getting back to the Atkins, okay, in spite of what this wild, psychotic maniac, I mean, it's one thing to send me a fax and disagree, that's fine, but if you could see the handwriting on this, there's like a whole page of little teeny tiny handwriting, just bop, 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 and you don't know crap. Because I disagree with you and because this works for so many people. Let me ask you this, if the Atkins diet didn't work for people, how could it still be around?
Right.
Am I right?
After what, 1970?
Look at all the other one. That's right. It started in the early 70s. In 72 or 3 is the first time I did it. That's when I lost 100 pounds, as a matter of fact, on the Stillman and the Atkins diets.
Right.
All the other fad diets that come and go, if they don't work for people, hey, they're gone in a heartbeat.
Remember when you took that poll?
Anybody taking liquid protein lately?
No.
Anybody drinking that? No. I mean, look at all the 80 trillion different diets that have come and gone in that period of time. How about our Herbalife friend? Oh, he's still dead? Buy the products. Westman studied 120 overweight volunteers who were randomly assigned to the Atkins diet or the Heart Association's Step 1 diet, a widely used low-fat approach. On the Atkins diet, people limited their carbs to less than 20 grams a day, and 60% of their calories came from fat. It was high fat off the scale, he said. After 6 months, the people on Atkins diet had lost 31 pounds, this is the average, compared with 20 pounds on the American Heart Association diet, and more people stuck with the Atkins regimen. Total cholesterol fell slightly in both groups. However, those on the Atkins diet had an 11% decrease in HDL, the good cholesterol. Let me say it again. The Atkins had an 11% increase in HDL, the good cholesterol, and 49% drop in triglycerides. On the AHA diet, HDL was unchanged and triglycerides dropped 22%. High triglycerides may raise the risk of heart disease. Let me say it again. American Heart Association diet, they dropped 22% on the average. Atkins, 49%. And I remember the first couple of months I did Atkins, and you remember those days, I was having my blood drawn like every 5 minutes. But my triglycerides dropped from 300 to 80 in about a month or two on Atkins. While the volunteers' total amounts of LDL, the bad cholesterol, didn't change much on either diet, there was evidence that it had shifted to a form that may be less likely to clog the arteries. More study is necessary because such a diet can be recommended, Westman said. However, concern about serum lipid cholesterol elevations should not impede such research. And that was the big objection. Oh, you're going to eat all that fat, your cholesterol is going to go zooming up. And now they're saying, oh, guess what? We don't think so. Some people it does because everybody's system is different, but most people it does not. It says no single study is likely to change minds on the issue, especially since an initial weight loss is hard to maintain on any diet. Some answers could come from a year-long study being sponsored by the National Institutes of Health. That experiment, being directed by Dr. Gary Foster at the University of Pennsylvania, will test the Atkins diet on 360 patients. In the meantime, the Heart Association president, Dr. Robert Bonow of Northwestern University, said the organization will reconsider the Atkins diet as more research results become available. Having our top academic centers look at this is wonderful, he said. We're still dealing with small numbers of patients. We just need more data. Dr. Sidney Smith, the Heart Association's research director, said it was a surprise that the Atkins diet did not raise LDL cholesterol. One small study like this flies in the face of so much evidence. We can't change dietary recommendations on the spot, he said. Dr. Alice Lichtenstein, a nutrition expert at Tufts University, said she thinks too much is made of the amounts of carbohydrates and fats in people's diets as they try to shed weight. She said there's no magic combination of fats versus carbs versus protein. It doesn't matter in the long run. The bottom line is calories. Oh, yeah, she's a nutrition expert. Calories, calories, calories. Do you believe that?
No.
No. Because let's say this. Let's say if you had like 2 hamburgers, or let's say this, 2 big steaks, one for lunch and one for dinner. And then small amounts of protein through the rest of the day and a little bit of carbs. And you had exactly the same number of calories in refined sugar. Ate nothing but candy bars and Krispy Kremes all day with the same calories.
Yeah.
Now, which do you think your body's going to function better on?
Duh.
Yeah. Anyway, this one about I hate to burst your bubble, this thing goes on so long. And by the way, Janet in Hollywood, what is this fax all about? Is Janet doing drugs or what? I mean, what is this? Hello, Neil. I'm an avid listener and enjoy all your shows with or without the phone calls. Love to hear you talk about all of the great spots in Las Vegas. When are you going to go out there? When you return, you'll have lots of new stuff to talk about. Great show, Janet. What does that mean?
I don't know.
When you go out there, you'll have lots of new stuff to talk about? I'm not going out there, Janet. I've already left my contribution. It's too damn far. When you realize that you can get on a plane and go to Europe in just slightly more time than it takes to fly from the East Coast all the way out there to Vegas. I've built as many casinos as I can with my money, and I love it, and it's fun, and yada. I'm just burned out on it. Now, maybe in a year or two I'll change my mind about that. Also, she says, P.S., how about playing Roby Young Rants?
No.
But have a nice day, Janet. Thank you. Boy. Wild. Phil Donahue, most likely to exit stage left. How's that poll coming on Slanted News, huh? Which TV network slants the news the most? We got 45 billion votes, 481. Fox, 162. All of them 95. CNN, 72. CBS, 66. NBC, 61. ABC, 17. MSNBC, which nobody watches, 6. And none of them only 2. Only 2 people out there out of almost 500 say, oh, nobody slants the news. Phil Donahue, most likely to exit stage left. Didn't I predict this?
Yes.
This is from USA Today. Phil Donahue's days at MSNBC are numbered, and you don't need to go into double digits, I don't think. NBC News executives under pressure from corporate owner General Electric to improve ratings are likely to cancel his talk show by year's end. If Donahue gets the axe, it'll be the strongest indication yet that star power alone doesn't make you hit on the cable, and that with a variety of viewing options available, cutting it there is tough. Donahue was the subject of a biting NBC Saturday Night Live parody Saturday in which Darrell Hammond played the liberal talk show host. Where your own network starts goofing on you, watch out, it says. MSNBC, averaging 392,000 viewers in prime time, is a ratings embarrassment for GE. Fox News Channel draws 1.5 million viewers, and CNN 983,000. Donahue, the king of syndicated daytime talk in the 70s and 80s, kicked off his MSNBC gig in July, well aware that he faced an uphill fight. I go into this fully knowing the challenge, he told USA Today. I want to be a player. By September, with his program virtually ignored by cable audiences, he was telling MSNBC's Jerry Nachman that unless he made noise by January, he'd be out. Though no final decision has been made, executives have told him his chances are slim, unless his program, which is running a distant third behind top-rated O'Reilly Factor on Fox and CNN's Connie Chink Tonight, can show dramatic improvement. Executives doubt that's going to happen. If somebody of Donahue's stature can't cut it after 5 months, they doubt he ever will. Last week, in a move designed to improve ratings, Donahue left MSNBC studios in Secaucus, New Jersey, to return to the scene of his glory days, Manhattan's Rockefeller Center, to do shows before a studio audience. That continues this week. And then it's got question mark. New gigs for Maher and Ling. Who the hell is Ling?
Don't know.
Oh, Lisa Ling. Bill Maher was on at the end of that show yesterday, that Talkback Live. He's pathetic. He's written this stupid-ass book about if you ride alone, you ride with Bin Laden. About, in other words, if you don't carpool, he's just tragic. And he looks like he weighs about 40 pounds now. I guess he ain't eating so good anymore.
What a nebbish.
Yeah, that's exactly the word for him. He's a real nebbish. No talent putz. 10:57 at 560 WQAM. Here's something that's good for you. There's not too much debate about this, and that is olive oil is a great thing. People smear it on their feet, on their arm, places we can't even mention on the air, they smear it.
Rectum.
Maybe even that too. And of course they put it in their body by putting it in their cooking and things like that. But if you want to get the purest olive oil in your body, combined with vitamins, minerals, and herbals and other good stuff in there to help specific parts of your health, here's the product to do it for you, Oleomed. Oleomed Mediterranean formulas are advanced combinations of all of these things to provide natural nutrition solutions to help you support specific health needs. They got one to help your cholesterol get lower, one to help you sleep. They have a new one to help your weight management, and CoQ10, which is so damn important for your heart, all using the benefits of the purest olive oil that money can buy. If you want to pick up Oleomed, you can do it all over town now because it's becoming more and more popular. Pick them up at Publix, Eckerd's, and Walgreens. You can get more info about their products and what they do for you by calling their toll-free number, 1-866-OLEOMED. That's 1-866-653-6633. You can also order their products online at oleomedamerica.com. And if you visit your nearest Publix and buy an Oleomed product in Dade or Broward counties, you can get you a coupon for a free Larry Coker bobblehead doll while supplies last. And don't forget to visit their sampling pavilion at Sportstown every Sunday when the Dolphins are playing home games to pick up some free Oleomed samples and product information. Start feeling healthy again by popping some Oleomed in your puss.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
Fox News, Heather, we really like to f*** you. All right. Oh, yeah. Fox News, Heather, we really like to f*** you. We really like to f*** you. You're a fine-looking fascist and a perfect little Nazi. I want to filter coffee through your soiled panties. Distorting news, looking smug and sweet. Laughing your lips like Ann Coulter's roast beef. Fox News, Heather. Yeah. Really like to f*** you. Oh, yeah. Fox News, Heather. We really like to f*** you. We really like to f*** you. You ever think about doing Condoleezza? Do you, bitch? You want her, don't you? Three-way. Her and your Dingo Man. Who's your man, Dingo Man? The little pig rolls mud between your buns. I'll bet it tastes like bubble gum. See you next time you need a story done, since it takes a liberal to make you come. Fox News, Heather, we'd really like to f*** you. Oh, yeah. Fox News, Heather, we'd really like to f*** you.
Okay. 11:03 at 560 WQM. So anyway, Heather Nauert, this original story by Paul Farrell, Washington Post staff writer. This is May 25th, 2000. Yes. So like a long time ago by one of our regular faxers faxes along, which we appreciate. And I'm not going to read it. I mean, it's much, much too long. But it talks about how she bounced around from Sioux City to Cedar Rapids. And on she was on MSNBC and BBC and CNBC and PBS and ABC and et cetera and so on.
And she auditions for movies.
Right. But
she's a nothing.
It says, then it happened. Well, wait till you get to the one part, which I've culled out of this to give you a real good idea of how sharp she is.
I got it.
No, that's coming about Condoleezza. After bouncing around all these years, then it happened. Monica, the Clinton-Lewinsky scandal created full employment for pundits of all stripes, but in particular gave wide visibility to a subset of young female conservatives, Ann Coulter, Laura Ingraham, Barbara Olson, Kellyanne Fitzpatrick, and Heather Nauert. With cable networks filling the air with talk about sex and sexual harassment, the pundettes, as they came to be known, filled a market need. A telegenic group of women who were predictably anti-Clinton, and in their own way they were breakthrough figures. Now, This part where she's on with, so let's see, last month, that would have been April of 2000. It says, asked by Fox News host Bill O'Reilly last month to make the case for George W. Bush's presidency, for example, Newhart offered this. The general philosophy that Governor Bush has is that America is great because of its people, because of America's innovation, because of our generosity, because of our entrepreneurial spirit. Al Gore believes that America is great simply because of the government. I think what's important is that we need a vision. A leader needs a vision. A leader needs to be able to appoint very qualified people to his or her cabinet. Why? O'Reilly asked. Newhart stumbled. There's one gal, I forget her name. She's an African-American gal, and she's involved. O'Reilly says, Condoleezza Rice. Newhart says, exactly, and she does foreign policy. She didn't even know her name.
Wow.
She does foreign policy. She is sharp, and I think people like that, and through having had the experience of knowing people through his father's administration, that he can help bring some of these people into his core group. Oh, my God. Yeah.
What a bumbling bubblehead.
A bimbet.
Bimbet, yeah.
An absolute bimbet is what she is. And she's calling this show because it's part of the right-wing agenda, not only of Fox, I'm sure she had a lot of encouragement from there, but of her own leanings. Oh, yeah, we saw this on Newsmax.com. Let's call up that show and expose this son of a bitch for the racist piece of crap that he really is. And let's make a big simus out of it, okay? A big dog and pony show. Especially right before election time. Didn't have any idea who I was, what the show was all about, etc. and so on. But make a big stink, because we can smell it all the way up here, Heather. Bimbet. Which TV network slants the news the most, we asked today on NeilRogers.com. We got 42 billion votes. 500 exactly. Look at that. Wasn't a propitious time to take a look at it. 500 at 11 o'clock. Can you believe that?
No.
I bet you at least 10 of them are real votes. Fox 172, all of them 98, CNN 74, CBS 68, 66, NBC 62, ABC 18. See what a big drop off there? I don't think anybody even watches ABC News. MSNBC, 8, and none of them 2. Shocking. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's Miramar. Hello. Miramar gone? You be there? Miramar. I hear you clicking.
Yeah, no, that's the
it's another one of those breathers. Yeah, it's just the quiet guy. Okay, so there's no calls on the board. All you people that wanted calls back. I mean, we sure haven't discussed anything, worth eliciting a call today, have we?
No.
Good. So let's just continue plodding right ahead. Sending a powerful message. New York Times suggests that Tiger should skip the Masters. The New York Times suggested in an editorial yesterday that Tiger would skip the Masters next year because of the all-male membership at Augusta National Golf Club. A tournament without Mr. Woods would send a powerful message that discrimination isn't good for the golfing business, the editorial said. Augusta National declined comment. Now let me just interrupt my reading of this article to point out that those people who keep poo-pooing the women's efforts to force their way into Augusta keep saying, and Mo always says this every morning, well, why do these women work on other important things? There are a lot more important issues that they need to be addressing than whether or not they're let into some golf club.
Right.
The same could have been said about blacks. The same could be said about any minority group who always have much bigger fish to fry. But what a lame excuse it is to say, oh, why don't you just go away and leave us alone, which is really what's being said. You have a lot more other important issues than worrying about this. Am I right?
Yeah.
No matter what the group is. But that's a pretty sorry-ass excuse for being a sexist, elitist bunch of blue-nosed assholes, which is really what this is all about. In interviews this month, Augusta National Chairman Hootie Johnson was adamant that a woman would not be among the 300 members at Augusta by the start of the Masters in April. Johnson's comments were the first on the subject since he criticized Martha Burke and the National Council brazenly discriminate against women, which means others can choose not to support Mr. Johnson's golfing fraternity. That includes more enlightened members of the club, CBS Sports, which televises the Masters, and the players, especially Tiger Woods. The editorial said Sanford I. Wheel, the chief executive of Citigroup, and Kenneth Chenault, chairman of the American Express, should lead the way for other prominent members and resign from the club. Weil and Chenault have said Augusta National should admit female members. They did not immediately return calls seeking comment yesterday. Woods was headed to this week's Dunlop Phoenix tournament in Japan and not immediately available for comment. He said he would like to see a female member at Augusta National, but that the club has the right to set up its membership however it wanted. In other words, if we don't like Taiwanese people, if we don't like black people, you're out, the Tiger. Which obviously they wouldn't do, but what kind of crap is that? CBS will broadcast the Masters in April. CBS Sports Vice President Leslie Ann Wade said, declining further comment. The network has a series of one-year deals since 1956, televised the Masters, the highest-rated golf tournament. And Mo is right about that. There are many other more important issues, but the fact is that this is an issue. I mean, it's kind of like Rosa Parks. You know, why are you worried about where you sit on the bus, Rosa? Black folks have got a lot more important things to worry about than that. Does that make any sense?
No. Yell's a boss, knows a boss.
Yeah, exactly. Very well put. What kind of crap is that? And Tiger Woods, if he had any real balls himself, he would say, hey, guess what? My people used to be discriminated against. If it weren't for the fact that somebody broke through that barrier against black people being in Augusta because there's a bunch of blue-nosed bigots running the thing, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be wearing those stupid green jackets. And women should be in there and anybody else that wants to be in there. This reminds me of the Kenilworth Hotel in those ugly days back in the 50s and 40s on Miami Beach. No blacks allowed, no Jews allowed, and I'm sure no spics allowed, by the way, you guys. I'm sure of that. And overwhelmingly on this radio station, being the sports all-male fraternity sports sniff station, oh no, these women, these bull dykes, man, they just better leave us alone. Leave us alone, let us have our fun. Freedom of association. Here's Port St. Lucie, our only call. Hello.
And Neil, a couple quick things.
Yes,
first off, I'm sort of surprised in your poll that you didn't include one of the financial networks that you're always complaining about slanting the news. Hell, they invented it. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Well, you know how they're always reporting on, sponsors and giving them favorable ratings. That's slanting the news.
No, that's not slanting news. Those aren't news stories. That's lying to the public. That's just blatantly lying to the public.
Well, they presented it like it was news. But on to my second point. I mean, I sort of agree with you talking about Augusta. Well, what would happen if a guy tried to join the women's NBA? Or what would happen if a guy tried to go out for his girls' volleyball team because they didn't offer boys volleyball? Would you be in favor of that too?
What? No, I'm not.
Well, then how come you're in favor of the reverse? I don't understand.
Because this is a club, okay? Women aren't saying that they ought to play in a Masters golf tournament. They're saying that they want to be members of the club. They're not allowed to join the club. They're not saying that they want to play in the men's tournament, at least as I understand it.
See, the difference between the bus, that was a public bus, and this is a private club, so I really can't agree with you. I mean, I think they're schmucks.
Wait a minute. If that was the same reasoning that they used to exclude blacks, how come everybody forgets that?
I'm not saying that they're good people. I think they're jerks, but they have a right to be jerks.
So in other words, if there were no Tiger Woods around today, if he wasn't the leading golfer in the world and wasn't so popular and didn't make them so much money, if he didn't exist, you're saying that if they wanted to exclude blacks, it would still be okay?
I'm saying I don't agree with it, but that'd be well within their right, and I think the only thing you could do to them from a government standpoint is probably not give them a liquor license so they'd make less money at their bar. But as far as...
But you're missing the point. There's nobody saying that it isn't their right to do it, but they're saying that CBS and the other sponsors who are associated with them shouldn't support them until they stop discriminating.
Well, that's up to CBS. I mean, everything comes down to, freedom of choice. I mean, CBS has a right to choose whether they want to be affiliated with. Of course, it's a bunch of jerks like that.
Yeah, well, evidently they do.
Freedom, whether you agree with somebody's freedoms or not, they should still have the freedom to choose.
Well,
I don't agree with what they're doing.
It's a very blatantly bigoted and ugly thing, I'll tell you that.
No question.
Okay, thanks.
There.
12 minutes after 11 at 560 WQM. In fact, if you see those female golfers, speaking of blatantly ugly.
Yeah.
And who the hell was the guy on CBS that got canned because he made that dyke comment? What the hell was the golf commentator? Whatever the hell his name was.
Wright.
Ben Wright. Very good. George hits a sports one.
Oh!
Woo! Ben Wright.
Right
you are.
Because I remembered the words to that LPGA.
Want a chance to win a free bear from the Vermont Teddy Bear Company? Just sign up to be a preferred member. That's free, too. Find out more by calling 1-800-829-BEAR. This is a club, by the way, anybody can join. 1-800-829-BEAR or visiting their website at VermontTeddyBear.com. If you're looking for a fun and different gift for somebody's birthday, new baby, or for the holidays, make someone's day by sending them a cute little Vermont Teddy Bear. Just call 1-800-829-BEAR and a Bear Council will help you choose from over 100 handcrafted bears delivered with a card and chocolate in a colorful gift box. It's more personal and fun than flowers. It'll be enjoyed forever. Choose from bears like the birthday suit bear, the Thanksgiving turkey bear, or baby's first Christmas bear. You can even add somebody's name to many of the bear's outfits to make your gift really personal. You won't believe the reaction you're going to get. Overnight and Saturday delivery is guaranteed. So call today 1-800-829-BEAR or shop online at VermontTeddyBear.com. Show you care, send a bear, the creative alternative to flowers for any occasion. Tell that old Neil told you to call 1-800-829-BEAR.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
Holy cow! What a shock.
What's the matter with lesbian golfers? Can't you tell we really love hitting balls? The only thing that separates us from the men is the country club's bathroom stalls. I love my girlfriend who's also my caddy. She's the femme, I'm the butch, she calls me daddy. Muff dive at 5, tuna taco, alright, but still ladies golf to me. My favorite hole that doesn't have any number, a green or a fairway. Don't sweat me 'cause I'm a snapper, lapper. I play golf and I'm gay. I missed my tea time, got caught in the clubhouse. Lesbian golf is the only kind with dugouts. I'm gay, let's play LPGA. Still ladies golf to me. And right as disgrace, chicks sit on my face. Still ladies golf to me.
11:18 at 560 WQM. We don't want no dykes in here, I'll tell you that. That's for damn sure, not in Augusta.
Oh.
This guy that sent me, or whoever the hell this was, this long, ponderous facts about Atkins and I'm full of Schmidt and this and that, and about his percentage of how many carbs. The fact that he doesn't specify, he says 65% carbs, 10 to 20% proteins, and approximately 15% fat. When he doesn't specify, he's talking about unrefined carbohydrates. He doesn't know what he's talking about. So thanks for wasting all of that time and effort and ink that you put on the page there, but blow it out your ass. For example, here's the fact that says one of my coworkers weighed 280 pounds in February. Today he's 214. He's off all his medication. The Atkins diet is the best. From somebody in Hallandale.
Oi!
How do you like that?
You forgot to mention that as well. If you're diabetic factor.
Right. If you're diabetic, it's one of the best ways because you're not eating those refined carbohydrates that set your blood sugar soaring all the time. And you can get your blood sugar under control without any, if you're one of those people that takes oral medication like I do for blood sugar control, you can stop taking it altogether. Because the Atkins diet or diets like that, the low refined carbohydrate diet, is the perfect way to keep your blood sugar under control. But then again, we got everybody's an expert. See, unless you've been through it yourself, unless you personally test your blood pressure, your blood sugar, unless you've taken control of things like that, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm doing it. I'm starting it today. How long do you think it'll last?
Till the end of the day.
4 o'clock? I'm doing it starting today, okay, for the 8 billionth time. Nobody wants to hear about it. That's okay. I'm fat. Not like I used to be, though. No. Here's a great story. This one from the Milwaukee Magazine that somebody faxed in.
That's funny, yes.
It says, a sizable concern. On the day Timothy Dolan was installed as the new archbishop here, joyful music filled St. John the Evangelist. Why can't I read? Because I'm so anxious to get to the other part. Joyful music filled St. John the Evangelist Cathedral, and live media coverage captured the uplifting grandeur of the historic Mass. For a little while at least, Milwaukeeans could almost forget about the sex scandals rocking the Catholic Church. Oh, sorry, Dennis. That is until WTMG AM 620 interrupted its live broadcast with an ad for a male sex-enhancing drug. That's right. Milwaukee's top news station ran a commercial for a product named Enzyte, which claims to boost the male function that rhymes with election. In short, size does matter, according to Enzyte, and now there's hope for men with underinflated egos. Mortified, WTMJ officials promptly yanked the ad. They yanked it from the broadcast. But not before it had run out once in its entirety, said John Schweitzer, WTMJ general manager. It seems the station neglected to screen the ads that aired that afternoon. Broadcast news stations have long been ridiculed for undercutting serious news coverage with inappropriate commercials, and this comical mishap certainly qualifies for the Hall of Shame, it says.
There's no fact in the church.
It was obviously a terrible oversight. There was no sweep of the commercials to see if there were any content issues, conceded Schweitzer. In light of what's become a rather public issue for the Catholic Church, it just wasn't an appropriate commercial to run during the programming. Nevertheless, in an industry where the almighty advertiser is sacred, the station has no plans to discontinue the questionable ad and other news programming. Says Schweitzer, we don't see any reason to punish the advertiser for a mistake we'd be making. How do you like that?
There's no fact in the church.
Exactly. Now, what's wrong with having a priest with a large penis? Huh?
Well.
Is there anything wrong with that?
I'll ask the altar boy.
How many copies of this? Oh, that's the old one. Here's good news. Taiwan rules oral sex isn't adultery.
All right.
I bet your Bubba would like to hear this. A group of Taiwanese judges and lawyers say oral sex is not intercourse and so it isn't adultery. Judges are not bound by the decision, but it can be used as a reference in future cases. 49 of 60 judges and lawyers support the view that intercourse means genital-to-genital contact. The opposing camp at the lawmaking forum says sexual intercourse should refer to any form of genital contact. But a spokesman for Taiwan's High Court says there is no law stating whether oral sex is a form of intercourse, and so judges are left to make their own decisions. The spokesman added, whatever decisions these participants came up with during the meeting will only be a reference for judges when they handle similar cases in the future. An unnamed Taipei judge who opposed the decision told the Taipei Times the conclusion could influence decisions in future trials. He suggests the country's criminal code be amended to state clearly that oral sex constitutes sexual intercourse. And they're saying, no way. We like the Bubba version. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Lady in Miami, hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
I'm by no means feminist, but I'm not ashamed to get on my knees and please my man. But I don't understand why these good old boys down in Augusta won't extend their membership to women, including 560's Jim Mandich. And he makes the biggest deal about not letting women in.
Because he's a sexist pig, that's why.
Exactly, but my thing is, their argument is that it's their right not to do that. But isn't it also in the Constitution to treat everyone equally?
Well, they keep using this thing about it being a private club, and technically that is correct. Private clubs can exclude or include anybody they prefer to have, but I'll say it again, if they didn't allow black people to be members at Augusta still, which up until not too many years ago they didn't.
They do allow black people, but
I'm saying
two members.
If they didn't have any black members now, do you think that CBS would be continuing to televise the Masters Golf Tournament?
Of course not. Women's discrimination is one of the most underrated forms of discrimination going on, and
you have to understand, especially when you see the way that most jocks treat women, and I'm not talking about Mandich, but I'm just speaking generally, that the sexism that exists among the jockocracy in this country is rampant. I mean, it's legendary, so that shouldn't come as any surprise.
About homosexuality,
right?
And it's almost along the same lines, and it's just not fair.
Well, let me ask you: do we have any out-of-the-closet gay people who are members of the Augusta Golf Club?
Oh, no way.
I sure don't think so.
No way. So.
God forbid.
Just thought that, and I'm also a registered dietitian, and I actually recommend the Atkins diet for obese people and people who have a tendency to become diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a lot of people lose a lot of weight.
Excellent.
And they should definitely give it a try.
Okay, thanks, sweetheart.
All righty.
Back in the kitchen now.
Love you, George.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah, keep them barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. The sexist attitudes in America today are grotesque and disgusting. And I'll say it again. This argument I keep hearing all over our radio station, especially in the morning, Mo, about, they got more fish, bigger fish to fry, more important issues. That's not the point. That's not the point. You can't, in other words, they should only be working on one or two things. Wherever you find discrimination, you have to fight it. You have to break down the barriers. And you have to protest the people who subsidize these kinds of snooty, obnoxious, blue-nosed assholes. And that's exactly what the whole golf establishment is. Snooty, blue-nosed assholes. That's what it's all about. Just like when Casey Martin, whatever the hell his name was, isn't that his name?
That's his name.
The crip golfer, who, not crippled, but he had the debilitating illness, and he had to use the wheelchair. Oh my God, and he's not walking the course. Get out of here, all the old fuddy-duddies, Nicklaus and Palmer and Gary Player, all these assholes, man. They should have been the first one lining up saying, hey, what the hell were they worried about? What are they scared of? Like walking the fairway is like some kind of a great physical feat that has something to do with playing golf?
Oh,
give me a
don't
break.
You remember those calls you were getting?
Oh, brother. You have to walk the fairway, man. It's a very physical event. Please, give me a break. In addition to which, on the seniors tour, they all use the golf cart anyway. They don't walk. How do you like them apples, huh? All those old farts who refuse to go away. Like the day that Arnie Palmer played his last golf tournament, and these people, oh gee, what are we gonna do? Poor Arnie. Like it meant something, okay? These people are out there hitting a golf ball. Are you people crazy or what? This isn't a sport, it's a freaking game. It's a blue-nosed game. It was invented by the Scottish. In fact, that's gonna be the new deal. We'll let you keep women out at Augusta as long as the guys wear kilts. How's that? Is that a good deal?
Sounds great.
You've got to stick your spoon in it.
Heavy. They are. Just a couple real quickly. This one from Zach. He says that Tiger Woods should take advantage of this opportunity and take a stance against this group of old white men who still believe that minorities and women don't deserve the same rights.
All right, excellent. That's what he ought to be doing, but he's not. All the damn money he's making playing golf, he ought to be out there championing every minority's rights. 11:27 at 560 WQM. You know, when it comes to eating and good food, there's so many good restaurants to choose from. But if you're looking for the best deli in town, you can bet it's Herbett's. Herbett's has been slicing and piling it on thick for over 30 years. It's New York-style deli at its best with Herbett's homemade pea soup, delicious daily specials, and the best pastrami, corned beef, and brisket. And that pea soup, boy, it's a real Dutch thing, you know?
No, I don't
Did you know that? That's the Dutch specialty. That's the national thing is pea soup. That's the Dutch motto, by the way. There's nothing like a good pea. Herbett's even has got the pickles, coleslaw, and cucumber salad on the table, just like the good old days before all you old farts put all the other delis out of business. Herbett's was even voted the best breakfast and cheap eats restaurant on citysearch.com. Now's the time to start thinking about your holiday party needs, too, and Herbett's does a super stupendous job with holiday platters and catering for your family parties or at your orifice, too. Herbett's has been serving some of Miami's top corporations for years. If you order now, mention the Neil Rogers Show, you'll get 10% off your holiday catering order. You can't beat it with a stick. Herbett's is located on 79th Avenue, just off the Palmetto Expressway. Call Greg at 305-592-7818. That's 305-592, get it right, 592-7818, or reach him on the net at herbetts.com. And some of the best news is Herb Golub's not there anymore. The best deli in Miami, you bet it's Herbett's.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Hey, it's Howard. Howard David.
And now a word from our good friends at Oinkacock Travel. Aspen, Colorado. That's the place to go if you like skiing. Imagine for a moment you're on the slope. You put your knees together, bend slightly forwards, and then you grab your pole while you put the other hand on the edge of the table. This is unacceptable. Who wrote this?
I think it was
Nah, not Mr. Zip Code. I know who's responsible for this sabotage. This is the handiwork of that faggot Jew Poof and that trained guava-loving monkey of his. Well, the joke's on them. Why, I'll have you know, I got connections in New York.
Send him in.
He'll see you now. Thanks. Get out of my way. Godfather, what do you know? What do you say?
Mo, my most recalcitrant friend, what can I do for you on the day of my daughter's abortion?
I'm here to demand that you grant me a favor. I want to sanction a hit on Neil Rogers.
What have I done to be treated with such disrespect?
Oh, Godfather, I'm at the end of my rope. Every day they got me raped, using my name in vain, and just making fun of my veins. I said, I'm weak and I'm old.
You can act like a lad.
You know who I am.
You're a man who deserves respect. So here's a ticket to Vegas.
Vegas? Who needs Vegas?
Get me afraid.
I already live in paradise.
Stop! You don't talk to a man like Mo Howard like that! I want you to take care of our friend, Mr. Mo, over here. Sure, Pop. Okay, take your pants off, fella. Let me show you a good time.
Get your hands off me, you big dummy.
I ain't dumb.
Not dumb, you're stupid.
Yeah, but not like they say. Give me a hand here, will you, Luca?
I'm out of there, Frank.
Shove a towel in his mouth and keep him quiet, okay? That's better. Shut up and take the Jenko plunge.
11:34 at 560 WQAM. 400. What is it? 563 votes. Can that be real?
Nah.
I bet you at least 50 of them are. Which TV network slants the news the most? We got 563 votes. 196 for Fox, which is going to be the runaway winner, it looks like. Oh! Wow. All of them 121. CNN 77. CBS 69. NBC 67. And then it's way down the list. ABC 19, the George Will Network. MSNBC 10, and none of the above 4. Also, George Stepp on top of us. It's not only Donahue that's in big trouble, but you know, this week, they used to be this week with David Brinkley, but now it's this week with George Will and a bunch of other idiots. Yeah. And George Stepp on top of us, he's in big trouble too. Big trouble. Well, you know, Kookie left. Kookie Roberts. And all those other, and is Sam Donaldson still on there with that bad hairpiece? I don't know, because I don't watch it anymore, and evidently neither is anybody else.
Nope.
And George Stepp on top of us is in big trouble. And if anybody can get him canned off that show, George will.
Speaking of TV,
yeah,
since you haven't mentioned it all day today, Clark warns Lana and Chloe about a boy, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, who is secretly dating both girls tonight on Smallville.
Wow. How could I forget about that? Well, we got the pressure of the trends coming out at 2:30.
I know you were distracted by that.
We have the pressure of the Arbitrends, which is August, September, and October, which August and September already, that's like dead stuff. It's already part of the summer book. But that's the way it goes, folks. It's like a rolling 3-month average. So this will include one new month, which is October, which will eventually be part of the fall book of October, November, December. You got that? I didn't think so, but that's the way it works. And so we'll have those numbers for you this afternoon. They'll be faxing them up here frantically, and then tomorrow morning we can kill some good time with that. And then tomorrow being Wednesday, the noon to 1 hour, we got all those comedy bits. So tomorrow should be like a piece of cake, like falling off a log. And quite frankly, the last 2 days have been like that. I think we got it licked now, you know it?
So far.
Yeah, no, seriously, because like right now, there's one stinking call on the board. It should be like every line should be lit up, but I don't really care because I haven't even gotten to the other tabloid stuff yet, and I may not at all. You know, for Tabloid Tuesday? Good golly, I got all kinds of crap here. How much more can Whitney take? Panic in the Palace? Kinky Condit sorted obsessions, more Gary Conduit crap. Shocking secret behind Winona Ryder's shoplifting scandal. Troubled star was high on hillbilly heroin.
What?
Huh?
Hillbilly heroin.
Why Eminem gave Mariah Carey the boot. Red Button sells off memories of lesbian wife. Kelly Ripa's secret beside the fact she's ugly as crap. Tons of stuff.
I want to know what's secret.
CSI Miami star Kim Delaney forced out by jealous David Caruso. I got piles of stuff here. Piles and piles and piles, baby.
Rectum.
Yeah, exactly.
So what about Kelly?
That's way down in the pile. I'll get to her eventually. I'm going to rip her. This actually just happened to us in Boston, of all places, says this faxer. Longtime listener fan living in the Pines from 82 till earlier this year. Listens on the net. Recently moved to the Boston area. Anyway, I recently married a woman who has a 7-year-old daughter who attends Catholic school. Oh, you better listen carefully, Dennis. Dennis, the Catholic expert. My wife and her ex-husband have decided that they want to baptize the little girl. They began making the arrangements, which included contacting the local priest. The priest told them unless she annulled her first marriage, he would not baptize her daughter. When she refused to have her first marriage annulled, he finally agreed to baptize her. Her father then asked me, we get along well, if I'd be the godfather. When I agreed, we contacted the priest and informed him that I was going to be the godfather and my wife's sister the godmother. The priest informed us that I could not be the godfather because I'm married to a sinner. To make a long story short, my stepdaughter will be baptized at a non-Catholic church. Let's hear it.
All right.
How do you like that, huh? All the ugly, nasty, hateful stories. The handicapped couple years ago in Chicago, the Catholic Church wouldn't marry them because they couldn't consummate their marriage.
Well, what would be the point?
Yeah, that's right. They can't make new members of the flock.
Right.
They like a lot of flocking going on in the Catholic Church. And if it's not in the rectory, it's somewhere else. Speaking of that, I love this story, even though it's dated. 7 athletes arrested. 7 Methodist college football players were charged last Thursday with hazing another student in the team's locker room after practice Monday. One of the players, senior wide receiver Antonio Wilkerson, was charged with a second-degree sexual offense. He was released on $5,000 bond. The others, junior Craston Davis and senior Jamar Brown, Angel Garcia, Jamal Leggett, Will McFall, and Sean Watkins were charged with hazing and released without having to put up bail. Davis and McFall declined to comment. Others couldn't be reached. According to witnesses, the group of upperclassmen got in a wrestling match with a freshman teammate immediately after coming off the field from practice. Such horseplay is not unusual, several team members said Thursday, but this time the wrestling got out of hand. It got out of their hand. There was a lot of stuff going on, running around, giving people wedgies, writing on the victim's butt with a Sharpie pen, said one of the players. I guess they crossed the line.
Rectum.
A report filed with the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office by campus police said the attackers held the victim down, stripped him of his underwear, and attacked him numerous times on the rear end.
Rectum.
There were also attempts to write on the victim's naked rear end before one participant, identified as Wilkerson, sexually assaulted the victim with a pen, the report said. Oh. You think it was a ballpoint?
Let's hope not.
Or a Sharpie?
Oh.
Woo. The victim was taken to the emergency room at Cape Fear Valley Medical Center. He was treated and released. He filed a report with campus police that evening. The players were immediately suspended from the team. Last Wednesday, a campus police officer filed criminal charges.
Good.
Methodist spokeswoman Cynthia Curtis said the college is investigating. We're disturbed by it, she said, but we feel like we've taken appropriate action. Curtis said that while the school's administration is concerned about what happened and considers the locker room attack an isolated incident, Methodist President What?
Sorry, I was saying, yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Methodist President Elton Hendricks and head football coach Jim Spielt, whatever his name is, declined to comment. They're mum. They're mum on the matter. How do you like that? Well, he just raped him with a ballpoint pen. He got raped, didn't he?
Yeah, but it was all in the name of sports.
It was all just horseplay, baby. It was all just a little locker room fun. It was just guys running around naked, snapping towels on each other's ass and having some good locker room fun.
Gay boys being gay boys.
Right. I bet you the Mad Dog could tell you lots about that. The same Mad Dog that don't want any of those broads messing up with their fun at the Masters up there in Augusta. At that exclusive men's only club. And like I said, they can have men only, they can have whatever they want only, but why the hell should the networks be subsidizing it? Why should the goddamn sponsors be subsidizing them? And finally, because of the pressure, no sponsors this coming year. Yeah. They're gonna foot the bill themselves, the network, which don't amount to all that much anyway. Which TV network slants the news the most, we asked. And we've got a staggering response, 575 votes. I bet you at least 5 of them are real votes. Fox, 138. All of them 129. CNN, 78. CBS, 69. NBC, 68. ABC, 19. MSNBC's all the way up to 10. Oh! You got 10 viewers, Phil. Or at least somebody on there. And none of them 4. We had actually a few people knew who Lester Holt was. That was good. Who? 18 till noon at 560 WQAM. We know who Brandy's are. They even had a song about them. Remember that Brandy's, you're a fine shoe? Looking Glass. And Brandy's, you're a fine shoe store. And they really are. Brandy's has been doing it right in that same great location in Pompano Beach for years. And they get repeat business like crazy because people know that they can't get a better shoe deal all the way around. That's why they schlep their feet to Brandy's. With the biggest selection of men's and women's shoes anywhere in town with the best prices, with friendly, knowledgeable service, people that know your feet inside and out. People who don't mind smelling your feet. And, of course, they got every size under the sun as well. Brandy's is open daily 9 to 9, Sundays 10 to 5, and you'll find them in that same great location, like I just said, 1290 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. And all this week at Brandy's, buy multiple pairs of SAS and save like crazy, even more than usual. Buy one pair and get you $5 off on the second pair, $7.50 off on the third pair, and $10 off on the fourth pair. Got that? Did you write that down?
No.
Well, you better. That's going on all this week at Brandy's, as in right now.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Neil got out WQAM, where the faggot is. Oh!
That's a deal for $2. Yeah, you know, back in my day, $2 was a lot of money. Yeah. Why, you could see a double feature with a live show, and I'd buy a hot dog, a couple of hookers, and a brand new Buick for a quarter. Yeah, them's were the days when the steering wheel was the same size as the tires. Yeah, what's the matter? I'm under my new white shoes. Was that you? Yeah, that was me. Why, you keeping score? I was hoping it was me. Getting too weak for even that. I should be so lucky. Lucky? Smells better than our wife. Since when you don't like the smell of hot bologna? Hey, wait up. Yes? The pasta's too tough.
You said you wanted it al dente.
No, I asked if you found al dentes. They fell in the tray.
Shoot. Fuck.
You know, they tell me Neil's upstairs. Yeah? You want to go bother him? Did he bring the veal? No veal. Yeah. Now, look, don't go ordering coffee. Remember, we still got those coupons for spooking. Yeah. Florida's a paradise.
It is paradise. I didn't realize that Greg was a waiter at Pompano Park. I'll have to look for him next time I'm up there. Notice that? 11:47 at 560 WQAM. And the good news is, the reason I played that is because a little free plug I get in here for my buddies at Pompano Park. Dick Feinberg tells me that starting, I can't remember the date, when Pompano Park opens like 4 nights a week starting on Monday nights, which I'm sure is by the first of the year. On Mondays, we're bringing back the free spaghetti dinner on the 4th floor. How do you like that? Isn't that great?
With all these shake-on Parmesan you can eat?
I can't wait to see that sea of blue hair out there on the 4th floor. In fact, out front, waiting to get in. for the free spaghetti dinner.
Oi!
It'll be great. In fact, I think this year we'll break all the records. I'm going to pack that place. We're going to get people driving down from Jacksonville, from Georgia, for free spaghetti at Pompano Park this year. Ice cream packages shrink to less than a half a gallon. That's depressing.
Well, now you'll have to buy 2.
Yeah, I'll have to buy 2 of those. Now, I'm trying to think if I ever actually ate a half a gallon of ice cream at one time. No. That would be, even if I admitted that, wouldn't that be like over the line?
That'd be a little porky.
Yeah. I never did that. Quart, no problem. A liter, which is a little more than a quart, piece of cake, no sweat. In fact, it would be good on a piece of cake. Chocolate, ooh. That chocolate marshmallow kind of cake, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Mmm.
Or on pie.
The half-gallon ice cream I'm not that crazy about pie. I do like Denny's pies, though. I like that, like Bavarian cream.
Melt some ice cream on top of it. Nice apple a la mode.
Nah, that's for Goyim.
All right.
The half-gallon ice cream can. Would you shut up already so I can do this story? Jesus Christ, you just want to do the rest of the show today? Because I'm starting to get a little nasal here, you know, like that. Just keeps mumbling and mumbling. You're up to your old ways again. You're mumbling. I can't understand a damn thing you're saying.
Well,
we had this down to
headphones on.
I don't want those headphones on. You out of your mind? The half-gallon ice cream container, the sweet standard of grocery store freezers for decades, is starting to shrink. While manufacturers over the years reduced the package size of everything from candy bars to dish detergent, the traditional ice cream brick remained what it was, the half-gallon. Not anymore. Not no mo. Now pinched by rising ingredient costs and afraid to raise prices already above $5, at least 2 ice cream makers have started silently to phase out the half-gallon with 1.75 quart cartons a half pint smaller. Well, I bet you I could polish that off. Huh? It's 1 3/4 quarts. No, I couldn't do that. Dryers, which is based in Oakland, California, and sells the Dryers and Edie's brand. So we're not fond of Edie's. We like the people who sell it, but we don't like that. Began introducing the smaller package in March. The new and old cartons can be found side by side during the transition, identical in shape and design and price, but one has 2 quarts, the other 1 3/4 quarts. We have over 100 flavors, and many of them, because people are preferring indulgent, chunky flavors, cost more to produce than regular flavors like vanilla, said Dryer spokeswoman Dory Bailey. We'd like to keep the cost at a price that's more affordable to folks. Schwann's, which sells primarily via a 7,000 vehicle fleet of home delivery trucks, made the switch in 2001. You ever hear of Schwann's?
Yes.
I heard of Schwann's.
Northwest.
Never heard of it. Other major ice cream makers, including Good Humor, Breyers, and Turkey Hill, are sticking with a half-gallon for now. I don't get it. First of all, why does there have to be a half-gallon?
There doesn't.
Couldn't you just buy, like, a bunch of quarts? And wouldn't they make you buy more that way if they were, like, more clever packaging? Why'd they have to buy a half a gallon of ice cream?
I give up.
And I envision people who buy, like, Seal Test, what do they call Neapolitan? You know, the 3, the chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. Yeah, that's for Goyim, okay? Those, seriously.
Definitely.
For people with absolutely no taste at all. Neapolitan. Blech. Chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla.
That's bland. Strawberry.
Oh, that's almost as bad as plain vanilla ice cream.
Ugh.
Italy rejects pornography tax. Italian lawmakers have voted not to impose a heavy tax on pornography. The government had proposed a levy on the manufacture, distribution, and sale of pornographic magazines, films, and videotapes. But the Chamber of Deputies voted 250 to 57 not to impose a 25% tax on the material. When Premier Silvio Berlusconi's conservative government, he's got to be the biggest crook in the world today in government. I mean, even Osama Yamama and, well, he's not in government, Saddam Hussein. Small potatoes compared to Silvio Berlusconi, who was over here shaking it with Bush a couple of months ago. Remember that?
No.
When Premier Silvio Berlusconi's conservative government announced a proposal last month that sparked a debate among those opposed to such a high levy, others said the government should ban porn outright, not make money from it, etc. and so on. But they said, no way, Jose. That's the good stuff. 56705. I'd sure like to get a couple of calls in between all this great stuff. As my pile continues to be, you know, I got a huge pile, but they just aren't there, you know. Can you imagine if I was still just taking calls and not doing all this other stuff? I can't. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say that I think that at the Augusta they should let women, I think they'd be surprised at what a woman could do with a golf club, you know.
Yeah.
And also I wanted to tell you, there's no fags in Augusta.
Like I said, now you know why there was no calls?
Yeah.
Seriously, how is it possible for an area the size of South Florida to have no material about anything? Look at the stuff that we've talked about here today, just in these first 3 hours. Staggering. We could write a book about it. And these people, like that. It's terrifying. And yet, those months that we shut the phone down, oh, gee, we want to hear those callers back. Like that call right there. He was pretty entertaining, wasn't he?
No.
Huh? He was sensational. He was stupefying. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Speak now or hold it forever. That's my suggestion to you. Get with it now or lose it. You notice they're coming like one at a time now. They don't want to overdo
it. Might be
it.
The same person. You never know.
Here's Miami again. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Okay.
I got a spy report. Every other day, whatever you talk about, the Schmidt head is talking about the same thing. Yesterday he was talking, remember you mentioned about the chemicals going through the breathing in a soldier's uniform? Exact same material at 3:30 yesterday.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I think he listens to your show. I think he's a closet listener.
No, I don't think so, because first of all,
think so?
I'm pretty sure he doesn't, because he does a show in the morning and then again in the afternoon in Tampa. So unless
what
he's
time is he on the afternoon? Is he opposite you? In the morning? I'm sorry.
No, let me say it again. He does a show in the morning. I don't know who carries it, not in this market. And his show in the afternoon is on IOD, but it's also on. He operates out of. He does a show from WFLA in Tampa.
Right, so but is he opposite of you in the morning?
Yeah, he's on the same time. He's not opposite me because I'm not on that market, but he wouldn't be listening to my show because he's on the air at that point. See, it's one of those. It's one of those stories that was on the wire services that wasn't like an exclusive to this program. So I'm not really.
Yeah, but it's not only yesterday. I mean, last week he was also talking something that I already had heard on your show.
Yeah.
And then he's talking about the same thing in the afternoon. I just thought maybe he was a closet listener, but
maybe he is in a closet.
Maybe he listens while he's doing the show.
He is simply Tampa Radio, like I told you before. He's strictly Tampa Radio. And I said that before I knew where he was doing the show from. Remember when he first came on here, we thought he was doing the show at IOD? He's been doing the show at FLA in Tampa all along. And that show is vintage Tampa Radio. I mean, it's exactly what you expect from WFLA. Weak. He's a Rush wannabe. He's like a minor league Rush. And the only reason he's got any numbers is because he takes the right-wing number from Rush and runs with it. You know what I'm saying? That's his lead-in. And by the way, speaking of lead-ins, since that trend is coming out this afternoon, and I'm on record, you've heard me say this many, many times, in spite of Mo's protestations, throw a number in there for us, Mo, in the morning, okay? Haven't I been saying that?
Yes.
Just this one time. We're not rooting against you, we're rooting for you, because even if it's only for selfish reasons, we want those extra bonuses, okay, baby? We want the entire station to have big, goddamn juicy numbers. That's what it's all about. So throw one in there this time, Mo, for the gang. When those numbers come out this afternoon. Boy, I tell you, I'm going to be sitting right by the edge of my fax machine here. You believe me?
Well, not on the edge.
No, not even going to be close. I'll be out shopping for Atkins.
Ice cream?
No, I'm not going to be eating any ice cream.
Half gallon?
I'm serious. I got to get through at least a couple of days of this. I've gained some weight back, especially when I was down there. That's when I gained the weight back.
Right.
And I go over to Pizza Loft, Ponytail invites me, I gotta come and see the new place and take my friend Marcy there. And we go in there and they bring me a portion of food enough for the whole goddamn radio station. It could have fed Fat Boy, Fat Julio, and, Josh Friedman and still had leftovers. How do you like that? That's how much he brings me. And you wonder why I'm fat again? I was looking lovely there for a while, for a couple of days, wasn't I? For about 5 minutes.
Those old shirts,
And those, frumpy, wrinkled pants. 11:56 at 5. You just wait till you see that great thing I'm going to be wearing from my buddies at Pompano Park when I come back. I'm going to stand right there in the window and show it right to Mo. Whip it out for him. Hey, if you find yourself looking in the mirror, speaking of Mo, wondering where the hell did the real hair go? Jesus, God almighty. Where the hell did that hair disappear to? Here's the answer. Chuck Alfieri. He's the only guy in the world you ought to turn to. Some of these people try to sell you holes in the head. Do you know for the implants they actually drill holes in your head?
Some of them. I've seen that.
Forget about it. The blood starts dripping down your forehead, and people either they run like crazy and start screaming, or they laugh their ass off at you. If you're wearing a piece like Sam Donaldson or like the one Bob Eisenberg used to wear, they're laughing at you too. In fact, Bob Eisenberg ought to be a poster child for Chuck Alfieri because he used to look so silly, made so much fun about the muskrat down on his head, and what did he do? He went to Chuck Alfieri, and for him, he's looking pretty damn good now. How do you like that? So if we can do it even for Bob Eisenberg, we certainly can do it for you guys out there. The price is right. The system is 100% undetectable. It looks like the hair's really grown out of your scalp instead of like some barnyard animal dying on your head. And if you mention Neil Rogers when you call Chuck Alfieri, he gives you that special $200 QAM discount. Here's how it works. They call you in for a free consultation. They'll sit you down and show you just how much better and younger Charlie can make you look. And if you don't love the way he looks and feels and smells, Charlie gives you a full refund up to 30 days. So make that call today because you got nothing to lose but that ugly, glaring bald spot and that reflection off the top of your shiny head. Call 1-800-321-2413. That's 1-800-321-2413 or log on to their website, charlesalfieri.com.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Well, now I do believe it be the 1 to 12 hour.
Put on my 501s and I headed for the street. Just checked out the best of Hustler and I'm starting to feel the heat. Suddenly I see people checking out my buttonfly scene. Yeah, I got a first-class riser. It done pitched to tent my jeans. Now I'm sporting a Woody. I'm finding it impossible to conceal. I'm sporting a Woody. I feel like an axle without a wheel. Saw the ghost of Elvis. He was sporting one too. Followed him up to the gates of Graceland just to see what he would do. His ghostly face was beaming as he headed for his room. There's a pretty little ghost, she's waiting for his post. Down in the jungle room, we're sporting Woodies in Memphis. It's nearly impossible to conceal. Sporting Woodies in Memphis. I feel like an axle without a wheel. Sporting Woodies in Memphis. It's almost impossible to conceal. Sporting Woodies in Memphis. I feel like an axle without a wheel.
1202 at 560 WQM. Speaking of diet, the pork wins out. The Senate voted today 52-47 against the Democratic effort to strip what they called 7 special interest provisions out of legislation creating a Department of Homeland Security. So the pork is still in there. The provisions, which include liability protections for pharmaceutical manufacturers and companies that develop anti-terrorism technologies, in other words, pork for big business, have been inserted into legislation by House Republicans and approved by the House last week. This is an atrocious demonstration of demeaning the legislative process, Senate Majority Leader Tom Daschle said before the vote. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. But drooling Senator Phil Graham, Republican of Texas, said it was not worth risking the overall bill by stripping out the provisions. I think that's a risk not worth taking, and I further believe the bill is a better bill with the 7 provisions in it, Graham said, as he wiped the drool off his chin. The bill, if enacted, would create a 170,000-employee department dedicated to fighting domestic terrorism. President Bush has said getting the bill signed into law this year is a top priority. More votes on legislation are scheduled today, but it was not clear when the vote on final passage would take place. Because of an expected debate, the final vote may not take place today. Yesterday, Senator John McCain, Republican of Arizona, announced that he would side with Democrats on the vote to strip the 7 provisions from the bill, but most moderates opposed the Democratic effort, and Senator Dean Barkley, the independent from Minnesota, voted with the Republicans. Thanks a lot, Jesse. Jesse Ventura in a fit of pique. Although it wouldn't have made any difference because the Republican won anyway. Norm Coleman, the unctuous Republican from Minnesota, won anyway, right?
Right.
So he'd have been in there anyway. Wouldn't he?
Wouldn't he?
No, not today. What's today? I don't know what the date is.
Well, eventually.
5670560. Look at the way these calls are coming in one at a time. You notice? Here's Kendall. Hello.
Hey, Neil. What's up, Father?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
All right, man. I caught the tail end of that porno tax. How were they intending on taxing pornography? Was it by like the amount of sex acts, the obscenity involved?
Yeah, by the
squirt.
By the orgasm.
Is that what it was? That'd be
Yeah.
pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You will be fun to get a job matching that. Hey.
Okay, have a great day, pal. Whatever you said. Kind of get a new phone. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Oh, look at this. Good morning, Neil. You mentioned the Kenilworth Hotel reminded me of an incident that happened in 56 or 57 when I came down here to visit my grandparents who spent every winter here at the Saxony Hotel. I remember that well. Saxony, the Atlantic Towers. All those rundown old hotels up there in north. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Yeah, you do, like in the central part of the beach, between where the Fontainebleau and the Eden Rock are right now, and like, say, I was 14 or 15 and wanted to go out and find others my own age with whom to spend evenings. I didn't want to hang around with my grandparents and their friends. A few of us as kids decided to go to hotel hopping. We wound up at the Kenilworth and walked into the lobby. I was wearing a mezuzah around my neck.
Oi!
But I received a couple of years before as a bar mitzvah present, so it was obvious to anyone who saw it that I was Jewish. We had been wandering around the lobby for about 5 minutes when a man came up to us and said I had to leave the hotel. When I protested I'd done nothing to deserve being thrown out of the hotel, he said to me, "You are a Jew, aren't you?" I said something like, "Sure, so what?" To which he replied, "We don't allow dogs or Jews in here, so get out." I was shocked. In my 14 or 15 years of life, I'd never been exposed to anything like this. I had no idea that things like this happened. It was a wake-up call to me. When I told my grandparents about it the next day, they told me that that type of thing happened where they came from quite often. They tried to explain it to me, but never could. That incident, more than anything else I can remember, shaped my belief that discrimination in any form is a great wrong. Absolutely correct, Bob. Bob's the guy that sent the fax. Remember Bob?
I do now.
So there you go, and that's what, and of course you notice we're not getting any response on that because they'll all be calling in the Mad Dog about the Tiger and about the New York Times editorial, and they'll be calling on all the other shows, the sports nerd shows, where they can get the sympathy. All these women, go bother somebody else. And I guarantee if it was Jews, if it was blacks, if it was Hispanics, there isn't a Chinaman's chance in hell in this day and age, or if it was Chinaman. There isn't a chance in hell that they'd say, oh, well, we're not going to let them in either and expect CBS to continue covering it and sponsors to continue in the future subsidizing it. No chance. But women, like I said, knock them up, let them stay in the kitchen and in the bedroom and get them out of our face. That's what George says. And you did.
And I did. Works like a charm.
Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Yatta soup. Yatta soup is the name of the pea soup in Holland. You were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
Are you there?
I heard you, yes.
Oh, okay, no, I didn't hear any response.
Well, what am I supposed to respond?
No, because you were talking about it earlier, and I just wanted to get the right word out, but...
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing in Toronto anyway with this kind of weather?
What am I doing? I'm enjoying it very much.
Oh,
what do you mean, this kind of weather? What does that mean?
No, it's great. It's great down here at the moment.
Yeah, well, it's great right here. It's like 43. I have no problem with it. I'll be in Amsterdam not too distant future. It'll be like in the 30s and 40s there. What's wrong with that?
Oh, no, I just think, when the weather...
Warm myself up with some of that great pea soup.
Okay, yeah, and do you put the sausage in there?
Yeah, put the little sausage in there too, right.
Because I always have the problem here when you order it here. I always have to ask a hot dog with no bread.
Never leave out the sausage.
That's it. The sausage got to go in there.
Okay, Donkevel, Tootsies, get out of here. You're done. You're done. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Oh, we want the calls, Neil, the calls. That's that guy that called Friday. He was one of the all-time best. They're paying you all that money to take phone calls. No, they're not. Yeah, they are. Maybe he can elope with Dennis. Maybe we can get him a date. Speaking of Dennis, what a great segue. I didn't even realize it. A priest who was accused but never convicted of child molestation has been defrocked by Pope John Paul II for disobeying orders not to serve as a priest in public. Anthony Cipolla.
Love the sauce.
Anthony Onion. Anthony Cipolla, 59, is in Rome to meet with a canon lawyer to discuss appealing the Pope's order to laicize him and could not be immediately reached. The Vatican decree states that the penalty is unappealable, said Ronald Langwin, spokesman for the Pittsburgh Diocese. I've never encountered anything like this, Bishop Donald Wuerl of Pittsburgh said. There's sufficient evidence to indicate Cipolla didn't seem to understand the seriousness of all of this. It wasn't clear when Cipolla was defrocked, but church officials told the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette for the editions on, what day is this? On Sunday, that it happened recently. Cipolla has denied various molestation charges against him that first surfaced in 1978. One of his accusers sued in 88, and the Pittsburgh Diocese settled a case in 93. Wuerl has been battling to discipline Cipolla since becoming bishop in 88. Cipolla was ordained in 1972. He was charged in 1978 with molesting a 9-year-old boy who went to his rectory for the first communion instruction. The boy's mother later dropped the charges, saying she was pressured by church officials. Another man, Tim Bendig, 33, sued in 88, alleging that Cipolla began molesting him when he was 12. He said the abuse continued till he was 17. Probably got too old at that point, like Michael Jackson's chimp.
Bubbles.
The diocese settled that case over Cipolla's objections in 93, 5 years after Wuerl had removed him from public ministry but allowed him to remain a priest. Cipolla has not had an official priestly assignment since, church officials said. In 91, he appealed his removal from public ministry to the Vatican, which ordered him reinstated in 93. Wuerl refused to comply with the Vatican's order, returned to Rome with Cipolla's file, including the 78 police arrest report. In 95, the Vatican reversed itself, and Cipolla was again officially barred from public ministry. Anthony Onions. Sounds like a mobster. World petitioned the Vatican in May asking the Pope to lay aside Cipolla, meaning he no longer could celebrate Mass or receive final support from the diocese. World said the final straw was a report that Cipolla was recognized while trying to celebrate a Mass at a church in Rome, of all places. Diocesan officials said Cipolla repeatedly served publicly as a priest in violation of the 95 ban. How do you like that, huh? They said, you're banned. He said, no, I'm not. You're not going to do it anymore. Yes, I am. Real mess in there, you know. In fact, Dennis, talk about doing productive things. Instead of wasting your time calling a bunch of stupid radio talk shows, you ought to be in there cleaning up the mess in your own church, Dennis.
There's no mess.
You ought to be cleaning up your flock. Here's North Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. I was calling about the Augusta big controversy about the gentlemen's club not allowing the women in.
Yeah.
I was listening a few months ago on another show, and apparently the lady that heads the National Organization for Women's Rights went to the sponsors of the Augusta tournament and threatened to boycott their products. And when the owner of the golf course heard that, he called up all his sponsors and basically fired him, and he's going to put up the $7 million that it's going to cost to broadcast that game.
Right.
So he's going to be independent, so, you know, he's not worried about sponsors. He doesn't want women in his club, and it's kind of funny, but it's not. It shouldn't be a big deal to have a woman play on your golf course. I mean, it's money in your pocket, but the ladies made some noise, and the guy answered right back and fired his sponsor, so he's putting it up himself.
No, well, wait a minute. Isn't that he fired the sponsors? He said to avoid the controversy and all the hysteria that would go on, they would subsidize the cost themselves, and the sponsors could lay out. In other words, they're going to run it next year sponsor free.
Oh, so it's just going to be the 1 year. I thought it was going to be a permanent deal.
But I wouldn't bet on it. I don't think they're going to well, who knows? I don't know.
You think in the long run the guy's going to make money off this either way? So I just think it's publicity.
Well, we don't want no broads in that good old boys club, man. You better get with it.
Good talking to you, Neil. You have a good
great
afternoon.
day.
Bye-bye.
Good old Hootie Johnson, man. And it's interesting that people like the Mad Dog and all the other sports nerds on this station align themselves with a Yahoo like Hootie Johnson. I mean, I don't want to align myself with that Burke bitch, but, just because she's the spokesman in this particular case, that's not the real issue. But Hootie Johnson and people of his mentality there in Augusta, Georgia, that is the issue because that's where they're coming from. In fact, you know where they probably are from? Probably from Aintree.
Eh?
Wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't surprise me that they were to pair up there in the woods. In fact, he's probably the surviving one. Remember the one that got away?
Right. That's not the
nice teeth, though. I did like those
that's
teeth.
the one that didn't get away.
Oh. 12:13 at 560. I mean, he sure had some snappy suspenders, though. Even Larry King was proud of it. There's never been a better time to buy a new home or refinance your existing home than right now as I speak. Hell yes. How about this unbeatable rate of only 3.95%? That's right. Financial Group can offer you an unprecedented 3.95%, and all you got to do to take advantage of this is call them and find out what it's all about. Call Financial Group toll free at 1-800-940-LEND. Tell them Todd Dreck told you to call. That's 1-800-940-5363. The money you're going to save is incredible. Think about it. You can get yourself a $100,000 loan for only $450 a month, or a $200,000 loan for only $950 a month. The process is simple. You'll save thousands of dollars each year. So call our good paisans at Financial Group at 1-800-940-LEND because there's never been a smarter time to get you a low interest rate than right now. Call Financial Group and be on the way to big savings. Financial Group is an equal housing lender. You listening, Hootie? They're an equal housing lender. Credit restrictions do apply and rates are subject to change. So call now toll free 1-800-940-LEND. That's 1-800-940-5363.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. UAM.
If you like Klondike bars, you'll love Bulldyke bars.
Hey, you, what would you do for a Bulldyke bar?
What's a Bulldyke bar?
It's a big iron bar that Bulldykes hit men with. Say, you're a man.
Ow, I didn't do anything.
Oh, I guess you don't have to do anything for a Bulldyke bar. Here, have another one. You pig.
Bulldyke bars. If you're a man, you don't have to do anything. Just hang around and odds are you'll get one.
Ow, cut that. You pig. Ow. You man. Ow. You pig man.
12:17 at 560. I think that's what they're really Hootie in the crowd there, Hootie and the Blowfish. What they're psychotic about there in Augusta is they don't want a big bunch of Bulldykes start joining in there, you know?
Right.
Pretty
up the place.
So let me ask you, was Ben right? Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
What's this I hear that Augusta won't allow women, number one, and number two, what's this about Lincoln not feeling too good?
Yeah. Okay. It's only the top story on the goddamn all the sports pages today, pal. New York Times editorial yesterday. 5670560, whatever the hell that was supposed to mean. That guy. By the way, time to put your teeth back in for the next call. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Terminal. Here's Pompano. Hello. Okay, like I said, let's get to my stuff now. Why is it always during the noon to 1 hour? I mean, you have to squeeze out whatever you can between like 9 to noon, but then between noon and 1, it's like somebody just pulled a plug. It was always
they're
that
out
way.
to lunch. They got time.
What does that mean?
That they got time to make a call from their little cafeteria.
Oh, these people, this crowd, I see. How much more can Whitney take? We're not talking about Ray Whitney. Now, what are you giving me that?
I wanted the Kelly Ripa story.
Okay. It's way down. It's way down here, okay, in my pile. It's about like number 5 in my tabloid Tuesday list.
Nobody cares about Whitney anymore.
The hell they don't.
She's washed up.
She's still shrieking it out.
Nah, nobody cares.
And good old downtown Bobby Brown.
He doesn't care anymore either.
Kelly Ripa's secret... Wait a minute.
Yeah?
See, secret collapse.
Oh.
Health nightmare ripping pregnant star apart. And I got news for you. And also, what about Minnie Me's pain? Tiny Stander's rehab to kick deadly booze habit? Well, what are you giving me that?
I feel sorry for him.
Well, we'll get into that. But anyway, Kelly Ripa, whatever the hell her name is, Kelly Ripa is being ripped apart by devastating panic and anxiety attacks that are destroying her sleep, attacking her health, and leaving her mentally and physically exhausted. The tremendous stress of working 2 jobs while being pregnant, caring for 2 small children, and dealing with intense family problems has thrust the 32-year-old beauty into a desperate battle to hold her life together. Kelly's being ground down by night terrors that repeatedly jar her awake, cold sweats, shortness of breath, disorientation, aches and pain, and annoying feeling of being overwhelmed. While she appears bright and perky on Live with Regis and Kelly, although very ugly, the talented performer is hiding a secret collapse from the show's viewers. The constant pressure came to a head when Kelly flew from her New York home for an October 28th charity event on the West Coast. She returned home completely wrung out and fell apart in front of her devoted husband, Mark Consuelo, sources say. Kelly sobbed and gasped for breath as she told Mark how the anxiety in her life is consuming her. An insider divulged to the Inquirer she collapsed. Mark tried desperately to help his wife, but she cried herself into complete exhaustion. Are you working up a real sympathy for her?
Nah.
I'm not either. She makes me sick. Why did you see? That's why it was way down in my pile.
I thought it was something spicy. You never told
us
what the secret was.
It is not spicy. It's just another one of those sympathy, another one of those puff pieces.
Yeah, but
that's
when
all.
you kept teasing it, you didn't say what it was
I kept teasing
about.
it because the pictures in there show you how ugly she really is. That's why. Not that there was any big spicy
like
thing.
A super sex secret.
If it was a spicy thing, you would have heard it yesterday. Okay, she is definitely not one of the spicy girls. Now, Minnie Me, that's another story.
Vern.
And here's a picture of hard-drinking Vern taking a swig of a mini beer. Half-pint actor Vern Troyer has entered rehab to kick the deadly booze habit that almost killed him. And recovering addict Robert Downey Jr. is giving him a boost onto the wagon. The 32-inch tall star who plays Mini-Me in the Austin Powers movies checked into Wavelength's rehab center in Malibu after the Inquirer reported that exclusively in September he'd been hospitalized for a near-fatal bout of alcohol poisoning. When you're that small, I guess you don't have to drink an awful lot?
No.
To check out?
Right.
Something good came out of the bad publicity. Vern's problem was finally out in the open, a friend declared. Vern realized he had to stop drinking. He knows he could have died from his wild bender just before Labor Day. The Inquirer story was a real wake-up call. This is kind of like the Inquirer patting itself on the back like we saved his life. He chose to go to Wavelengths, the place credited with helping Downey stay sober for more than a year, because he felt the center's tough program and secluded canyon location offered him the best chance of getting sober and staying alive. Downey, who still attends weekly meetings at Wavelengths, has been Vern's guardian angel since the miniature movie star decided to turn his life around, the friend told the Inquirer. With all due respect, I'd still rather have Timmy from Passions. Looks like her eyes are going to pop right out of her head. Vern feels he doesn't have to explain his feelings to Robert. When Vern feels shaky, he turns to Robert to get him over the hump. Vern is allowed to leave the rehab center for various reasons, and sometimes Robert meets up with him. He told Vern, "I'm there for you, brother. The hardest part is staying away from the temptations of this business." And it goes on at great length, but like you said, who cares? I'd rather have Timmy still around. Wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
You don't know from
the
Timmy.
Other day. He's been in a lot of things, and he was in something else the other day, and I don't remember what. Oh, The Grinch.
You saw who the other day?
Little Timmy in an older movie, like The Grinch, because I had never seen that.
When's his new stuff coming out? Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hey, I don't know if you saw your colleague last night on Sports Jam prior to the Monday night game. But,
probably not, because they don't carry Sports Jam here in Toronto, but nevertheless.
Okay, all right, I forgot about that. But anyways, to paraphrase the Mad Dog, he was, all right, he came out and said, he goes, why can't we have a place where we can drink beer, smoke cigars, make guy bodily function noises, and just be ourselves, you know? And I would imagine that tree-hugging, Chardonnay sipping people will be calling his show all afternoon. So it's probably a great lead-in for the show. It's probably going to have great numbers, but he's right. Why do people want to belong where they're not wanted? I mean, I can understand if it was a thing where you're going to make money and it's restriction of trade, but it's a social group and they don't want them.
So in other words, if they still didn't want black people in it, and he hangs up, that's the end of that call, or did somebody cut him off?
That's the end. He told you what for.
Oh, I see. And then he's quoting, get your own material, by the way. He's quoting the Mad Dog and Chardonnay sipping, whatever the other crap is, you know, which is just another...
Tree huggers.
Yeah. Just another homophobic slur as all that crap is, you know. Lighten the loafers, Chardonnay sipping, all the... And not as macho as these guys who want to sit around and belch and fart. Guess what? They do have those places. It's called a bar. It's called a bar. We're not talking about a pickup bar. And by the way, the kind of broads that they're going chasing after in a pickup bar are probably also belching and farting and doing their own thing there too. And you notice every time you bring up the thing, it's so obvious. I mean, it's right there staring you in the face. Here's the number one golfer in the world, assuming golf is important, which it's not. Here's the number one guy in the universe who's heads and shoulders above everybody else. Maybe the greatest of all time. He's half black, half Taiwanese, or whatever it is, mix and match.
Right.
A little more Taiwanese.
A few other things thrown in there.
Yeah. And not too many years ago, I think, what was it, 11 years ago that they let the first black member into Augusta? Not too many years ago, they wouldn't have let his ass in there. And don't confuse us with the facts. It's not the same. He's a guy, you know, right. You're dealing with a bunch of bigoted, redneck yahoos, okay, is what you're dealing with. And the Mad Dog ought to be ashamed of himself. Can't us guys have... Yeah, you can have it. Just don't expect the goddamn public, the networks and the sponsors to subsidize it. And if CBS Sports decides that they want to go ahead and show it, which they're going to do, then they're going to take a lot of flack from it, which they deserve. That's the way it works. There are going to be a lot of people boycotting and marching and demonstrating and protesting because that's the way things start unraveling. That's how you break down the barriers of prejudice and bigotry and stupidity. And quite frankly, if I want to be aligned, even though she is a militant bitch, this Burke woman, if I want to be aligned with the cause, I sure as hell wouldn't want to be aligned with Hootie Johnson and a bunch of Georgia rednecks, a bunch of yahoos. But hey, to each its own. 26 past noon, and the Chardonnay sipping, man, all the same old trite lines. Get your own material. That's why he ran away so fast. God forbid he should have to answer a question with his own response. 26 past noon at 560 WQM. Thanksgiving, everybody's going to be flocking home to be together again. Even women are allowed. I guess they got to do the cooking. Gathered around the table with delicious homemade food and family traditions. After all, it's not the turkey that makes the meal special. It's the people. Getting ready for hungry guests can be really stressful, especially if they be staying overnight. If you're having a house full for Thanksgiving, let Dial a Mattress make your holiday preparations a little bit easier. Now's the time to call 1-800-MATTRESS and get the new mattress in before house guests get there. If they already told you they're coming, or if you don't hear from them till the night before, Dial a Mattress can deliver a top-quality Sealy, Serta, Simmons, King Roll mattress the very same day you call them. I've been sleeping on a Dial mattress for years, and I'll tell you one thing, even though I may be a wreck, my back is in great shape. Call Dial a Mattress right now at 1-800-MATTRESS and talk turkey with a betting consultant to choose from the very best mattresses at even better, unbelievable prices. Unbeatable. You can rest easy this Thanksgiving knowing that everybody is sleeping in comfort. So get ready for the holidays now by calling 1-800-MATTRESS. Be sure and tell them that old Neil and Fat Boy told you to call. That's mandatory. Neil and Fat Boy. 1-800-MATTRESS for Dial a Mattress. Brand name bed. Same day service. Call them now. Be sleeping like a baby tonight.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
I don't have a clue.
I used to think that I could not be harmed, that they would keep quiet 'cause I'm a star. And now the years have passed for carping fields. As long as grass is on the playing field, if I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, then they're mature hips. I'm a big pedophile, I can touch her thigh. You can see it on videotape. Don't care, I more than tried to rage. And if her parents come home, you see me running through that open door. I'm a big pedophile.
How young is too young?
I'm a big pedophile. I'm a big pedophile.
1232 at 560 WQFC. We don't have any women basically listening to this radio station because it's it's a sports club. Or like you say, a sports bar with a microphone. And we have very few women, especially as compared to what we used to have on IOD. We didn't have a huge women audience, but we sure as hell had a lot more than we got now.
Right, we had
have just a smattering of women who listen to this show now. And so it's very, that's a popular thing to go on here and say, oh yeah, well these damn women trying to bust into our thing. First of all, talking about sitting around and belching and farting and being guys, that's hardly the image that the Masters, especially of all the golf tournaments, that gives. People like Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods and this crowd, this blue-nosed crowd, they don't give the impression of the kind of, guys that sit around like farting in your face. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Find a sports bar, okay? That's the place to go. A good sports bar where you can light up a big fat stogie mad dog. In fact, he does that show this guy's talking about, Sports Jam. He's jamming in there in those bars. You can fart and drink and booze it up and have all your green lizards and do whatever the hell you want. It's just a tragic excuse for a bunch of discriminatory assholes is what it is. And maybe the fact that they figure that most of these women, the golfers, are dykes anyway, that might be also lurking in the back of their minds, you think? Oh, no. Not in Georgia. No. Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
Hey, listen, I'm going to start off my comments by saying I'm not a golf fan. I didn't know who Hootie Johnson was before all this stuff with Augusta.
You didn't give a hoot?
I didn't give a hoot. But I have an opinion on it. It is a private club. I think, I'm a Hispanic. I know he wouldn't accept me in his club, but then again, I wouldn't want to belong to a club that wouldn't accept me anyways. That woman who's, trying to bust on the doors of Augusta, why don't she just build her own golf club and have it just for women? I mean, I don't understand why.
Yeah, in fact, I think probably Rosa Parks should have built her own bus, too.
Well, I mean, it is, if it was a public, place and they were, not allowing a certain group of people in, then, then that's a problem. But
no, see, this is like a dog chasing its tail, okay? I mean, the guy that called from before from the beach was right. It's old stale news. Because, it just keeps saying the same thing over and over again. A private club can do whatever the hell they want, but that doesn't mean that a major network should glorify it and put it on the air and that major sponsors ought to subsidize it. That's what the issue is. See, don't confuse a lot of these people with the real issues. Which is why Hootie Johnson and his crew of lunatics said, oh, okay, well, we'll just dispense with the sponsors. We'll foot the bill ourselves this time. That'll eliminate the issue so that we don't have to cave in and let those damn bitches get in here. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. The jury wasn't told about Winona's powerful painkiller, oxycodone, that Winona had in her purse when she was arrested. The morphine derivative is so popular on the streets it's known as hillbilly heroin. You got any?
Yeah.
But because Winona's doctor gave her the oxycodone...
Oxycontin.
No, it's not oxycontin.
Oh, it's a different one? A different oxy?
Do you think I'd be having a problem reading here, man?
Maybe.
Oxycodone.
Okay.
Oxycodone.
So I never heard of it.
Schmuck. Boy, I'm telling you, you're mumbling, man. But because Winona's doctor gave her the oxycodone, the judge dismissed the felony drug possession charge that was originally brought against the actress. However, as the Inquirer recently revealed, the physician is being investigated by authorities. Another knowledgeable source disclosed to the Inquirer that Judge Eldon Fox knows of Winona's drug problems because he saw all the charges and motions filed. And although he refused to allow it into evidence, he also knows she's been suspected of shoplifting before. Judge Fox ruled against letting jurors hear about the prior alleged acts, but he's since released court transcripts that reveal the sticky-fingered star was suspected of stealing from other high-end department stores before her arrest at Saks. The girl interrupted heroin was never charged for the two alleged incidents at Barney's and one at Neiman Marcus. The information was released to the press November 10, but the Inquirer published the accusations more than a month before in early October. Well, let's hear it for the Inquirer.
Oh!
Well, they sure like to pat themselves on the back, don't they?
All the time.
The next big hurdle for Winona is her December 6th sentencing, said the knowledgeable source. Even though the prosecutor is not asking for jail time, the judge could send her to jail for up to 3 years. Ain't gonna happen. To stay out of jail, Winona must be able to show him she's been doing something to deal with both her shoplifting and drug problems. Friends and even a juror interviewed by the Inquirer after the trial hope the talented beauty queen comes to grips with her problem. They want her to grip it. I think the embarrassment of the public trial and fact that she was found guilty may scare Winona sober, said the juror. My guess is that Winona's learned her lesson. I'd be surprised if she ever shoplifts again. How do you like that? And you know something? I still don't give a crap.
No.
I'd rather hear about Dave Ryder than Winona Ryder. I'd rather hear about Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels than Winona Ryder. Small potatoes. Here's a call from the Grove. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay.
I was going to make a comment about the Masters thing. I think you hit it on the head when you did say it is a private facility, and they are going to flip the bill. If you look at some of the other things that deal with women, and I guess you're talking about homosexuality, you know, the Boy Scouts of America don't allow homosexuals, so they're not making that a big issue.
Wait a minute. Who isn't making it a big issue?
Anybody in the general media.
Of course they made it a big issue. That's one of the reasons that they lost their funding all in states and counties all around the country. Because they're discriminating.
And then the next thing you look at is, say, the Citadel. They didn't accept women.
Yeah.
And the reason they didn't accept women is because they said that they didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Well, the states told them that they didn't allow women, that the state funding was going to go away.
Uh-huh.
The Citadel couldn't afford it, so they had to accept women.
And now there's a whole bunch of women in there, a whole bunch of cadets.
Right. Now, the Masters can afford to pay for it because they are a private organization. They can flip the bill.
How come there isn't one of you people that wants to continue defending this? There isn't one of you who will respond to my question. If Tiger Woods were not permitted in there because he was black, do you think that CBS would televise it?
I'm sure they probably would. It's the longest running, name one other major golf championship that's been at the same golf course within its entire history.
Oh my God. Oh, you know something? I give up. I'm right there. That call, bottle it, preserve it, freeze dry it, put it in the old colostomy bag. That call is everything that's wrong with this radio station is people like that. This guy is even better than the guy who said to Mad Dog after that big weekend, the Miami win over whoever the hell it was, FSU, and the Dolphin win over Denver that weekend about 4 or 5 weeks back. Aren't we blessed to be here in South Florida, Jim? I've talked to people all across the country. Aren't we blessed? You guys are idiots. You're morons. You're simpletons. What difference does it make if it's the longest running tournament? Well, what the hell does that have to do with anything? Well, what does that mean? That's like saying, well, you know, the New York Yankee or the Boston Red Sox, whichever one came first, is the longest running baseball organization in the history of Major League Baseball. Therefore, we can't let the Jackie Robinson join the Dodgers or whatever the hell. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, now I understand.
Where's the logic in that? And this guy's got the chutzpah, the balls to say to me that he believes that if they didn't let Tiger Woods in there because he was black, that CBS would still televise it. You better bet your ass they wouldn't televise it, mister. And there wouldn't be one person on this radio station defending that if they didn't let him in there. So you pick and choose who you want to discriminate against. And let me say it again. Make it very clear. They got a right to do whatever the hell they want, all those rednecks up in Augusta. But that doesn't mean that the public should subsidize it or the network should embrace it. It's a disgrace. Can you relate to that mentality? It's the longest running golf tournament. What does that mean?
I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, what does it prove? There's been slavery going on for 2,000 years too. Does that mean we should perpetuate it?
Sure. And the Catholic Church is the oldest Christian church in the world, therefore they should be able to do whatever they want. Yeah.
Well, the Jews were here first, mister.
Oh, the Zoroastrians were here before them.
Exactly. 20 till 1. I'm seriously, I'm weak. I'm weak from that. I feel like El Martino. I'm weak. I need a slap in the face. Well, let's face it. You've been hearing about Fast Train for a long time, and I wondered if it made sense for you. The facts are simple. Not as simple as that last caller, but the facts are very simple. If you have the dedication, Fast Train can provide you with the necessary training to become a certified computer professional. According to Time Magazine, the demand for computer professionals will continue to explode. Their average student completes the training in just 4 short months, attending school 3 nights a week. Once you complete your certification, Fast Train can help you in getting your new computer job. Fast Train invites you to come in and visit our trained career counselor and determine which track is ideal for you. Call Fast Train at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN to set up your appointment. With 4 convenient locations, there's bound to be a Fast Train near you. There's one in Miami, in Kendall, Pembroke Pines, and Fort Lauderdale. Don't forget to ask the career counselor for a list of students like yourself who are currently in their dream jobs. Call Fast Train toll-free at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. That's 1-866-FAST-TRAIN, or check them out on that web if you like at fasttrain.com.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
Looking for glory holes. Want to lose 10 pounds this weekend? 1048. The Hollywood 48-hour miracle diet.
I lost 10 pounds, but it was no miracle. That stuff is sour milk.
It was 48 hours of hell.
I puked for 48 hours straight.
I puked so hard, my soul fell out.
Lose up to 10 pounds safely in 48 hours.
If puking chunks of your own liver was an Olympic event, I would have brought home the gold.
That's how I feel right now, and I ain't eating nothing. 12:45 at 560 WQAM. 650 votes. Which TV network slants the news the most? Fox, 228. All of them 156. CNN 89. CBS 70. NBC 69. ABC, I mean, what a drop-off. ABC 20. MSNBC's got 12. That's the whole audience. None of them 6. So what do you think? Don't you think that because the Masters has been there so long, they can pick and choose, and the CBS ought to be there with bells on, huh? And we ought to be sitting around. Let's face it, I don't care what you say, but it's starting to dawn on me again that all these macho heterosexual males, that a hell of a lot of them don't like women.
You notice that?
Yeah, George. They like using them. They like using them for whatever purposes they can get out of them.
I don't go to great lengths to stay away from women.
I didn't say you. I just said, George.
Oh, yeah.
You're taking it like so personal. This is business, and you're taking it personal. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? Who accepted his membership to Augusta not so long ago was Lou Holtz. You know who Lou Holtz is, the coach. He accepted his membership, but they
he's a good old boy.
Yeah, I guess. But they actually turned down Chris Bush because he had cross.
Oh, he's starting again. That one. Oh man, a voice from the past. Don't go away mad, pal. Just go away. Go hide in the bush. Here's Key Biscayne. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Uncle Neil, you're the best, and you know it, buddy.
Yeah, I do.
Hey, tell me something. Since you're closer to Minnesota, any investigation to the death of Paul Wellstone?
No.
Haven't heard a word?
No, the only thing I read was that psychotic piece by Cheryl Seal. But
I don't know.
Other than that, what word are you going to hear? What's the word you're going to hear?
You're not going to hear anything but the whole government change. If I was a local member of the Supreme Court, I'd be pretty scared right now.
Yeah. Well, you're pretty scared. You have to be scared. Now that we got these people in there to confirm all these right-wing judges, it's just a matter of time before they die off. They don't have to off anybody. Not that this guy's paranoid or anything like that. 5, 6, 7. Well, but this last hour every day, it's like a movement like that. You notice?
Yeah, I know.
Pretty good, as a matter of fact. 567-0560, pound 560. You faggot, you're just one of those guys. You're just sucking up to them women out there. You're one of them, sucking up to them bulldogs. That's what it's all about. You're not a real man like the other people on your radio station. Right. Remember the day we took the poll on this thing? That was months ago?
Yeah.
About whether they should be required to keep on. Oh, no, it's a private club. They can bring anybody they want. And I forgot that it was the oldest continuous running golf tournament. Excuse me, if I would have known that. Here's Kendall. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Okay.
Very long time since I've spoken to you. I listen to you every day. Oxycodone. You know what that is? Percocet.
Oh, okay.
So there is a difference. There's OxyContin, and then there's oxycodone, which is the generic name. So.
And then there's oxymoron.
And there she is. So yeah, she definitely is. It's hardcore stuff, and for some reason doctors freak out more about Percocet than, let's say, Vicodin or other, pain relievers like that. I don't know why they always make such a big deal about it.
She's small potatoes. I don't know what the big deal is with her anyway.
What an idiot. What an idiot. And that guy who called about the, it's been that way for so long. Why don't we just leave the Spookies out of the club?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Love you.
See ya. I mean, that's basically what the guy's saying, and he has the balls to tell me that if they didn't allow black people in there, including Tiger Woods, CBS would still go ahead and televise it because it's been on longer. They might as well shut the CBS eye right off the air if they did that. Are you crazy? You see, you sports nerds out there, you don't understand, though. I know this comes as a tremendous shock, and you may have to sit down and, strap yourself in for a couple of minutes, but the world doesn't revolve around your silliness. I know that comes as a tremendous shock. Yeah. But the world doesn't revolve around your golf games and your ball games and your slap, grab ass and hazing and all this stuff. It doesn't revolve around that crap. In fact, most people who have reached the maturity level beyond the age of 17 laugh at a lot of that crap, or are embarrassed by it, or both. Well, you know, Jim, that slap ass, that's just part of the game, you know. You know what? We should have a treasure trove of some of these great calls. Far surpass any collection of comedy bits that we could ever make. Some of these just unbelievable calls. Oh, yeah, well, you know, it's just part of the game. These guys slapping each other on the butt, you know, it's just part of the game. Yeah, I know which game they're talking about, like we said. Faggery. That's the only part of the game I know it's about. Putting your hand on some guy's rectum, ass. But anyway, don't confuse these people with the facts. They get very uptight, and then they have to start analyzing these things. Well, maybe it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's just the way it is, you know. It's just the way guys act. Like that hazing thing that you're all upset about. It's just boys being boys. Don't you understand that?
Oh, yeah, I understand it.
They want to, rip off other guys' underwear and, you know, examine their private parts and fondle their genitals and write thing on their ass and stick ballpoint pens in their rectum. It's just guys being guys, man. Just because it happens to be between the navel and the knees, it's just one of those things. 10 till 1 at 560 WQM, your silly sports station. It's your silly station for silly people. And that's why we do so well, because there's a lot of silly people out there. If I would have known it was the longest running golf tournament, I think I'd have probably changed my whole altitude, you know what? Wow. I'd have lowered my chair right down to the goddamn floor.
Now that you know.
Oleomed. No matter whether you're black, white, purple, in between, Oleomed's good stuff to pop in your puss. Oleomed Mediterranean formulas are advanced combinations of pharmaceutical-grade olive oil combined with great stuff. Vitamins, minerals, herbals, or is it herbals as some people say? I sure hope not. And other nutrients scientifically designed to provide natural nutrition solutions to help you support specific parts of your health, like your cholesterol level and all kinds of good stuff. Now, they got 3 brand new formulas. Oleomed's got a product to help you sleep, one to help you control your weight, and CoQ10, which is very important for your heart. And all their products use the benefits of the finest olive oil that money can buy. Boy, I tell you, those sirens out there going nuts. Tone it down a little bit out there, eh? Oleomed's an outstanding product that's available all over town at Publix, Eckerd's, and Walgreens. For more information, call Oleomed toll-free 1-866-OLEOMED. That's 1-866-653-6633. You can also order their products online if you prefer at oleomedamerica.com. Don't forget, it's Tuesday, Smallville tonight. And if you visit your nearest Publix and purchase an Oleomed product in Dade or Broward, you can get you a coupon for a free Larry Coker bobblehead doll while supplies last. See what I mean? Don't forget to visit their sampling pavilion at Sportstown every Sunday when the Dolphins are playing home games. Pick up for your health some free Oleomed samples soon and start popping it in your puss today.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Up the bitch right now.
Neil's not here today. Instead, the management of WQAM, in all their infinite wisdom, is proud to present another goddamn sports show.
I want to thank all my underdog friends for calling in today. Balls and Davey, hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up, buddy? How's my underdog friend?
Okay. What's going on?
What, about sports?
Yeah.
Not much in this town, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Bought me a new hot plate today.
Well, that's good, my underdog friend.
Thanks, yeah.
Hey, you want to feel like a man, like a sportsman?
Yeah.
Sports kind of guy.
Sure.
All right. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'll start, okay?
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Sure miss him a lot, you know?
Yeah. He's around.
He's around and about. 12:57 at 560 WQM. You know, I never got to this story. Panic in the Palace. William collapses as royal trash mom. Look at the headline on one of these brick newspapers. A harlot, a trollop, and a whore. Never got to that.
Scandalous.
Yeah. Never got to a lot of stuff today because we had to take these really nifty calls. And it's interesting, of all the things I talked about, you notice the one that actually got a little bit of response?
Yeah.
Was this one about Augusta and the Masters and about, well, you know, and every excuse under the sun. It's a private club and it's the longest running continuous golf tournament and therefore, et cetera, and so on. It's called rationalizing the irrational. In addition to which, who really gives a crap when you come right down to it? I just brought it up because of that one story, which was about the 100th thing I had in there today. Nobody responds to anything else I'm talking about, which is usual. I expect that. But this is the one they all come out because this is a guy thing, baby. Like that great sports show that used to be on opposite us on The Fan. Remember that show?
I remember.
And the sales crew, certain ones, which I don't want to mention them by name, running around buildings saying, oh yeah, those 2 live Jews on there, that's a guy show, it's a man show. They talk about titty bars, that's a guy show, that's gonna kick that Neil's ass. Anybody heard The Fan lately? No, they're not even on the air anymore. In English. But that's the mentality that you're dealing with. It's this women-hating, super macho, and these people are deluding themselves. Let me say it again. Guys that want to take showers together and run around naked together and slap each other in the ass with towels, there's something that seems a little bit amiss there. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Underline the miss part. Something that seems a little bit off-kilter to me. But then again, what do I know? You know, being the old fag that I'm, what would I know about that? About faggery? Plenty. But don't confuse these people with the facts, and you just watch. There'll be a plethora of call. Oh, Tiger's got more important things to worry about than that. He should be the first one, with all the millions and millions he's made, playing a stupid goddamn game called golf. He should be the first one standing up for everybody else's rights. And the last time they made it a big chimney out of it, what's the big golf tournament over there in England that they have? What is that? What is it? Come on, Carlos.
Is that the British Open?
Whatever it is. Well, he's too busy playing over there. He don't have time. He's got to concentrate on his golf. It's kind of like, remember the Brian Blades thing? He don't have time to be talking now. He's busy running fast and jumping high. Remember that?
Right.
He don't have time to answer any questions. 670 votes on our poll. Which TV network slants the news the most? Fox. Your macho right-wing station, the effing Fox standing for fascist. And isn't it great that we found out some real insightful stuff about our good friend Heather today?
Yeah.
Heather the Bimbette from Fox.
She's a nothing. Stuff and nonsense.
The Condoleezza licker who didn't even know her name a little while ago. Fox 238, all of them 159. CNN 92, CBS 71, NBC, and it's just changing again by the time when we can't afford for it to be changing, damn it. NBC 70, ABC only 21, MSNBC 13, and that's their whole audience, and none of them be saying 6. Mad Dog standing by next. He's got his kilts on today.
Bye, bye, bye! The Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.